Welcome to Horniman Stadium here in Tiffin, Ohio, as the 2-0 Student Princes play host to the 1-1 Ohio Northern Polar Bears in an OAC matchup. You can follow us live here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. You can go to our website, Heart of Ohio Sports. You can also access this from the OAC TV and Boxcast. So good evening. My name is Dominic Helmstetter, and I'm bringing you live Heidelberg football. And joining me, I've got a couple of amazing people sitting right next to me. I've got Trayvon Hastings, and I've got Max Drummond. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
All right. I'm excited here. So we've got a full production. We've got Joey Krajewski down on the field. He's going to be chiming in here shortly. But I also want to thank all of our production team, our technical director, Zach Dillon, our producer, Greg Ken, and then all of the talented camera people that we've got here, Mackenzie Murray on the sideline, Gabby Stahlbaum at the top, and then our camera operator, Connor Sukol. All right. So tonight's broadcast is brought to you by X-Carre Mexican restaurant. Oof, it's a staple of Tiffin, Ohio. That's for sure. Stop out, check out the new look menu with some delicious new items that you got to just try for yourself. Gather some friends, get some queso, enjoy, and treat yourself, because X-Carre, the best place to go in the Tiffin Mall. All right, so we are about 26 minutes here away from kickoff, and we've got a lot of fun stuff going on here for you tonight. First, let's start by having a short preview of our two teams tonight. So Ohio Northern, let's start on the opposing side. Ohio Northern, last week, Trevor McConnell threw for 3 TDs. He also ran for a 4th to help Ohio Northern pick up a 28-13 victory over Capital. Okay, McConnell, he was 15 to 27 passing, picked up 173 yards to go along with those 3 TDs. And, of course, their defense came with a strong defensive effort, able to take down the Capital Comets a couple different times with 2.5 sacks, forced fumble, and that earned him, Josh Beaver, the OAC Player of the Week. Now, Heidelberg on the flip side there, last week, Heidelberg, they were able to defeat Otterbein for the 6th consecutive time by a score of 34-7. So Heidelberg defense, they led the way. Very dominant. Limited the Cardinals to 238 yards of total offense. And, of course, Drew Sims, the stud quarterback, leading the way here. So let's dig in a little bit, guys. And what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to watching tonight with these two teams as they battle it out in the OAC?
Well, you know, one thing I'm excited to see is what this offense for Heidelberg comes out with. You know, the first 2 weeks, the ground game has been a little inconsistent. The top 2 rushers so far are under 4 yards per carry. So I want to see if they can find some more consistency in the run game. And then also Drew Sims, he's gone down 7 times on sacks this season. So I'm sure Coach Donaldson would definitely like to see him stay upright.
Yeah, you can't have your quarterback get hurt. Otherwise, it's going to be a rough night there. Exactly. So, Trayvon, what are the things that you're queuing into tonight?
Definitely. While the Heidelberg offense has shown some inconsistencies, their defense has actually had a lot of really, really good outings and performances so far, especially on the defensive line. They have Tyler Turk, Zach Blackiston on that defensive line. Cole Biebart has had a really good year as well as Jared Evans, and their secondary is really good. Griffin Pendry, All-American, as well as Tremont Wiley, and their linebackers also not a real weak spot on that defense either. So their defense is the strength of this team, and it keeps them in ball games. It keeps them in ball games while the offense is stagnant. So
yeah, Blackistone. All right, Blackiston. All right, he seems to be an absolute tackling machine. Picking up quite a few tackles for loss there. So he might be a guy for us to watch as we see the Polar Bears roll into Tiffin, Ohio here.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So we're getting close to kickoff here, and we're hoping to check out all sorts of things. We've got the marching band on this side of the field right over here. It is Hall of Fame night. We've got 4 Hall of Fame inductees that we're going to hear about here shortly, and we've also got family weekend. I was walking around campus a little bit earlier today, and families were checking in there in Campus Center, and they were able to get some swag bags, check out the bookstore, a lot of really cool things in there, as well as check out different parts of campus. So it's really nice to have families here. So welcome every single one of those families as they join an amazing OAC game for tonight here. All right. So I think we're getting ready. We're still moving here. All right, so I think we talked a little bit about Heidelberg. Let's look at Ohio Northern here for a second. And a guy that I've had a chance to watch at the high school level quite a bit, Brock Martin. He seems to be an absolute beast. What have you noticed with Brock Martin in that Polar Bear offensive line so far?
So he definitely seems to get a lot of volume. Last week he had over 20 carries, and there are a lot of times very tough yards. He's making it happen. He's making a lot of probably the first guy miss each time. And, you know, when maybe they turn the ball over, they have to come back and establish a good drive. He's the starting point for that.
Okay, and the defense here. All right, so Drew Sims, we know who he is. He's going to put up a lot of yards there. He's going to, he's a very consistent, very reliable option, 68% completion rate passing. If you're the Polar Bears, how do you slow that down? I mean, that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, I think it starts with slowing down the running game for Heidelberg because they do like to play through Montavious Yerby. He had 30 carries when we were here week 1 when they played Adrian, and his workload is going to determine, in my opinion, how this game goes. The receiver core isn't as strong as it was last year for Heidelberg, and I think for Ohio Northern, if they make Heidelberg play one-dimensional, it'll make it a lot easier for their
Please welcome back 2009 alum, Joe Blue. Joe is Heidelberg's first national champion on the wrestling mats after winning the 2006 title at 157 pounds. A year later, he placed third in the nation at 149 pounds. Overall, Joe was a 52-4 at Heidelberg. 929 winning percentage, and was a vital member of the wrestling team, which won 2 OAC regular season titles and 3 OAC tournaments during his time. Mr. Joe Blue. Next, please welcome Judy Matai. A 2010 Heidelberg graduate, Judy remains the fastest woman in Heidelberg history, holding 6 individual school records and 3 relay records. She won back-to-back national championships in the indoor 55-meter dash and was twice named the OAC's most outstanding sprint athlete. In her illustrious career, Judy was a 4-time All-American and an 8-time OAC champion. Miss Judy Matai. And then unable to be here, the 2013 graduate Nate Davis was an elite 2-sport star, excelling in track and basketball. In his senior year, Davis swept the high jump national championships, winning in both indoor and outdoor track and field. In total, he was a 5-time All-American and a 6-time OAC champion. Nate's exceptional jumping ability was also on display inside Cyberling Gymnasium. For his career, the All-OAC performer tallied 1,102 points, 836 rebounds, and a program best 226 blocked shots. Mr. Nate Davis. This induction class combined for 7 national championships and 19 All-American finishes. Please give one more round of applause for Greg, Joe, and Judy.
There you have it, our Hall of Fame inductees here for Heidelberg Student Princes. Okay, we're about 18 minutes away from kickoff here, and one of the things that I want to make sure that we have a chance to talk to Joey a little bit. So, Joey, how are you doing down on the field, and what are you looking forward to watching tonight?
We're on Joey right now.
How we doing, guys? I'm here at Horniman Stadium for the Bendo Bowl tonight. Talked a little bit to Coach Scott Donaldson beforehand. A little bit of keys on the defensive side. Stopping the runs first and foremost with ONU's running back, former Seneca graduate Brock Martin, and obviously creating that pass rush off the edge, getting to that quarterback and forcing more turnovers. On the offensive side of the ball, it was pretty clear cut. Run the football, protect the quarterback, and create explosive plays in the passing game. So we saw a lot of it versus Adrian week 1. We can expect a lot of the same thing tonight. I'm hoping for a big victory and the Bendo Bowl championship coming back to Tiffin. Thanks, guys. Back up to you.
All right, thank you, Joey. Looking forward to it. So the Heidelberg band, they're just coming out here onto the field. They got that nice H formation here, and we are creeping closer and closer to tonight's big-time league matchup here from Tiffin, Ohio here. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit more football here before we get ready for some band music down there. Okay, so what's one thing that you cannot wait to see, or what's one thing that you expect to see right out of the gates here from Heidelberg? Let's start on the home side here.
Well, we already heard Trevon talk a little bit about Montavious Yearby, and I'm really interested to see what explosive plays he can make happen. His first 3 seasons under his belt, he's had at least one 70-yard play each season. So how can he make this offense? How can he get it started or get it going?
There you go. So big plays there. I love big plays. I'm not going to lie here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's flip the switch to the other side of the field here. What's Heidelberg going to do? What's the key for their defense?
It's a battle of, I'll say, schemes. Heidelberg runs a lot of spread. They play through their receivers, their skill positions, and for Ohio Northern, I would say they play a little bit more nitty-gritty. They bring a 12 personnel group. They play through their tight ends, their quarterback, their running back. They're a little more physical on the line of scrimmage. So it's a battle of basically who's going to win the line of scrimmage, I think, in this game. So for Heidelberg, with their defense being its strength, especially their defensive line, for them, they need to try to set the tone in the first 3 minutes of this game. If they start on defense, how the game's going to go for them.
All right, there we go. Let's talk Polar Bears now. Okay, so Polar Bears come rolling in here. They're only 1-1, and they've struggled to put up some points here. So what can we really expect to see them? I mean, Trayvon, you were just talking about the defensive keys for Heidelberg here, but what can we do? What can they do offensively to try to get around some of that?
You know, they're coming in off of a road game last week, and it's going to be their second straight one. So I'm interested to see how they adapt to that. But also taking care of the football is probably going to be a major key for them. They have 6 total turnovers already throughout the season. Ooh. So taking care of the football and not putting their defense in a poor position and giving Heidelberg some momentum, that would be an absolute killer.
Yeah, no question. And turnovers, always something that you want to avoid right there. And Heidelberg's done a pretty great job so far this year. They've got positive turnover differential. They don't give the ball away, but they've also forced their opponents to give the ball away. So I think that's a phenomenal idea there. Something to keep in mind. Maybe it's going to be that going on right there. All right, looking down on the field here, the Heidelberg band, they're forming that script H. We're getting close, 13 minutes from kickoff tonight here, and getting ready for Lift Every Voice from the band here momentarily.
I believe they're under a new director this season as well, so very exciting thing to see on the field here, see it in fruition.
Yeah, John Waters was the previous band director, and they've got new leadership, and he's been extremely active on campus, down on the field, just about everything. They were dancing during pregame, getting themselves ready. It's always great to see, and they did a phenomenal job during the Heritage Festival this morning too. Loudest band in town, guaranteed. Yep. All right, Rod Miller, of course, he's our new band director. You can see him right up there, mid-screen on your TV screen. White hat, black shirt, getting the Heidelberg band moving along. All right, we're going to start to get ready to transition down to the band, tune into some of their great music, again, at the direction of Rod Miller. You're listening to Heart of Ohio Sports. It's Heidelberg football, OAC showdown here at Heidelberg Stadium in Tiffin, Ohio. And we're still waiting. All right, so we got a few more minutes apparently. So guys, all right, maybe you know this a little bit more. I'm just getting too old apparently. But they call this the Bento Bowl, and it looks like it's the 12th Bento Bowl. What can you guys tell me about the Bento Bowl?
Well, I know it's an extremely competitive rivalry. The past 3 matchups alone have been decided by 7 points or less, and it's normally seems to come in at the end of the year, and it's usually a bit on the line. Not just for bragging rights, but for what's going to happen with the remainder of the OAC standings. So I know it's always a pretty high-stakes game between the two.
There you go, Bendo. All right, my producer, Greg, is yelling at me. Bendo Bowl. Of course, it's in memory of one of the former coaches here. And Bendo, he passed away in 2010. And it's a really great thing that they're able to do here and keep the tradition alive and make sure, and Scott Donaldson's been extremely vocal in this too, make sure that, because he worked alongside Bendo, but keep his memory alive, keep his spirit alive, and it's something that the Polar Bears and the Ohio Northern staff that they've done as well. Maybe I should mention Heidelberg's been dominating this Bendo Bowl too. By the way, they've got a 9-2 record in the first 10 iterations of this. So I'm hoping they are able to bring home that trophy again tonight.
Absolutely.
They've been nail biters the last few years.
Hey, big plays, strong defense, but we were talking before production. Last year's game, huge play there at the end, and Heidelberg marched right on down the field, tossed a touchdown TD last second, won it, and that was a big clincher for them because it helped them go to the playoffs.
Yep, and that was Maceo Matthews, incredible player, incredible athlete that came through Heidelberg, and it'll be interesting to see who's going to step up and kind of take on that role. It's obviously very difficult to with somebody that great, but there's got to be somebody that's going to make the game-changing play and help Heidelberg come out on top.
Absolutely, and right now it looks like Dimitri Pennock, he's kind of been that guy filling in a lot, averaging about 100 yards a game, and he's filled in very nicely. But you're right, you lose a big-time player, and you hope that not just one but 2 different guys are able to step up and make you that much more dynamic.
Definitely.
All right, I think we're getting closer because I can see the hometown team here, led by head coach Scott Donaldson, as the Heidelberg student princes walking out of the locker room, coming down onto the field as the marching band patiently waits so that they can get the music going for us here from Tiffin, Ohio. We're 9 minutes away from kickoff here, so still looking forward. And you can see the student princes getting some love from the hometown crowd here. They also have a huge recruiting group that they were talking to before game that are on the sideline. So it's always fun, exciting if you're one of those recruits, being able to hang out right next to the team and be part of the team in as many different ways as you possibly can. So that's a lot going on here at Heidelberg University.
Yeah, it looks like we have some of the student section, if you will, filing in the back of the end zone on the scoreboard side, and
yeah,
that's how we know we're getting closer.
There you go. I remember a couple years ago, students, they would drag chairs and couches and recliners, and they'd park it right behind the back of the end zone. I think that was some of the funnest football I've seen in a while. And then, of course, COVID kind of stopped some of those antics from happening. But I don't know, you guys might be missing out on some real fun down there on the sideline. All right, there you have it. Student Princes marching out onto the field. There you see quarterback Drew Sims chatting up the officials down on the sideline, looking for those favorable calls tonight, no doubt. Drew Sims, of course, Perrysburg native there, so I've had a chance to talk to a lot of family friends that he's got, and he is a people person. Everybody loves Drew. You can see it on the field. All his teammates fight for him. Just a phenomenal person, but also a pretty darn good quarterback there, too. So I think we're getting ready down on the field here, and we're going to start to tune in a little bit, and we're going to hear from the Heidelberg Marching Band.
And now, under the direction of Professor Rod Miller, would you please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America, the Star-Spangled Banner.
All right, the Heidelberg Marching Band down there on the field. the singing of Lift Every Voice, and then the band playing the Star Spangled Banner down on the center of the field. We are moments away from kickoff here as we get ready for the coin toss, figure out who's going to get the first crack at tonight's action here. While we're waiting for the captains to meet at center field, I'd like to take a moment, thank some of our excellent sponsors here for tonight's Heidelberg football game on Heart of Ohio Sports. Of course, for Heart of Ohio Sports, we'd like to thank Ex-Carre Mexican Restaurant and Pyramid Recruiting Services. Pyramid Recruiting Services, they are a full-service shop employment agency that firmly rooted here in Tiffin, Ohio. They've worked together for more than 30 years. Sue and Diane, they've got a mission that's helping great people find great jobs. So make sure that you call them if you're in need, 419-447-0455. You can see in the captains coming together here, and of course Heidelberg sponsors. We'd like to thank Your Legacy Federal Credit Union and OSST Sports USA. They've done an excellent job making sure that this broadcast can come to you live tonight. All right, again, today's game supported by OSST Sport and Pro Tracks Synthetic Track Services. OSST provided the beautiful all-weather surface here at H's Track at Horniman Stadium. Heidelberg Athletics is grateful for the support. All right, let's tune in closely, see what we can find out on who's going to get first chance tonight.
Heidelberg won the toss and will receive.
So Heidelberg wins that toss. They're going to receive here in the first half of play, and that, of course, means the Polar Bears will pick up in the second half. All right, we are minutes away from getting tonight's OAC Showdown kicked off, ready to go. All right, gentlemen, parting shots here as we've got 1 minute before we start to see some football. What's on your mind as we're creeping closer to kickoff here?
So Heidelberg's O-line is a big key for me. I touched on a couple of points that are related to them, but I think if they can push the opponents off the ball and they come out strong, I think there's not much Ohio Northern could do to maybe keep up with them.
Defensively for Heidelberg, I think they got to set the tone defensively with the D-line, and on the back end, secondary has to avoid giving up big plays. But besides that, I think they got to do their thing.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch here as these two teams battle each other. And, of course, we mentioned Heidelberg. They took last year's matchup and looking to keep that streak going. They are nationally ranked 24th coming into tonight's contest. So they want to continue to move up those rankings and make sure that they are in prime position as they start moving through the OAC.
Kicking off for Ohio Northern, number 86, Dom Falco.
All right, so here we go, and kickoff is up and away from Tiffin, Ohio, as it's Heidelberg taking it from 25 up to going to be dropped right around the 20-yard line. And that's where we're going to get our first look at the Student Prince offense tonight. So it looked like it might have been Montavious Yearby with it. And, of course, Montavious is a key cog in the offense. And I'm sure we're going to be hearing his name quite a bit tonight as they're going to give him more and more rushes as we try to plow through the Polar Bears.
Yeah, always love his use on special teams. He can be a real game changer that way.
Oof. You got to love those fast players. They just run right around you. So here we go. Sims takes it, is looking. He's going to step up, go deep. He's going to throw it short, intercepted. That's going to be intercepted by number 2, Ed Manning, and he's going to return it. He's at the 30, and he's going to be drugged down right around that point. And first play of the game is an interception, something that Drew Sims tends to not do a lot of, but that's how we start tonight's contest.
You know, we saw a few plays in week 1 where they got into some turnover trouble, and it came on throws like that where there's a lot of pressure in the face maybe, and he's trying to go deep, make a big play happen, and right there comes up short. Looked like he might have been thrown off his back foot.
Yeah, and Sims, he's only thrown 2 interceptions all season long, so that makes number 3, and hopefully they can avoid some of those costly turnovers. But any way you look at it, the Polar Bears, they've got a nice short field here to work with as they pick off Drew Sims, and it's going to be number 10, Brock Martin, right up the gut, drugged down after a short gain on the play.
Martin with the carry.
Of course, Martin, their leading rusher for Ohio Northern there. He's been able to average about 60 yards a game, so we look to see a heavy dose of Martin in the backfield there. All right, McConnell gives it to Martin again, right up the middle. Big-time yardage, close to that first down marker as the Student Prince defense is able to stop him, what appears to be just shy of the first down.
Going to be seeing a lot of Martin tonight.
Yeah, there's not a lot of other rushers that they've got there. Brock Martin, of course, he starred here locally at Seneca East, had a chance to visit Seneca East yesterday for some high school football, and I bet the Tigers are wishing they still had him on the football team. So here we go. It's 3rd and short. Martin right up the middle, and the Student Princes swallow him, stop him, and that's going to bring up 4th down for Ohio Northern.
Turk with another tackle. It's 4th down.
Tyler Turk was able to fly through the offensive line on that play and force what appears to be, I would say, a field goal attempt. Yes.
So we've got Ohio Northern. They started off the game by picking off quarterback Drew Sims, and they have only plowed forward about 6 yards or so. So looking at a 4th down about a PAT distance there, and we're going to see if they can cash in. It looks up. It is good. It is good as the Polar Bears strike first here for a 3-0 lead with 12:55 left in the first quarter. All right, so Scott Donaldson there on the screen looking to rally the troops, and I'm sure if he's going to say anything, he's like, all right, guys, we got to get this offense moving. We got to pick up some momentum here. Drew, don't throw the ball away.
It looked like on that interception, looked like Ohio Northern was a man-to-man, and Drew just underthrew the ball. Not much to it. They did get a little bit of pressure, but besides that, it looked like maybe a miscommunication between receiver to quarterback.
Yeah, his intended receiver, it looked like he had a step on him, but he just wasn't able to get enough air under it as he underthrew it, and of course that led to the touch or the interception. So let's see if they have a little bit better luck here second time around, maybe starting off on the ground and give Montavious Yearby a chance to grind some yardage out for this Student Prince offense.
Yearby teeing it up for the Polar Bears. The Falco.
All right, it's up, it's away, and it's going to be Yearby who lets it go into the end zone. And we're going to get our second look at the Heidelberg Student Prince offense here.
You know, and the Polar Bears kicker there, DeFalco, he's doing a great job of booting it deep, not giving Reed or Yearby a chance to make a play happen there.
And that's an excellent point there. One thing you want to do is keep the ball away from the playmakers, and we know that Yearby is one of those playmakers for the Student Princes. All right, so here we go. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line for the Student Princes. They get their second try at this, and it's going to be Yearby right up the middle, and he's going to be hit by 2 orange jerseys and drugged down to the ground after a short gain.
And it looked like they did a fake passing motion out towards, I believe, Pennick and Reed there. So even when it's a running play, they're still trying to get those receivers involved.
Absolutely, and here we go, 2nd and long for the Student Princes, and it's going to be to Yearby again, off to the right side here. He's going to turn it up, and he's going to be tripped up, taken down, right around the 34-yard line. It's going to be close, but just short of the first down marker, and that's going to bring up 3rd and short for Heidelberg.
You know, on that one, Devin Conyer, the tight end, he did a great job with a seal block, giving Yearby the edge to get out there and get some extra yards.
Third and short for the Student Princes as they look to extend this drive and respond to the Polar Bears as they were able to put up 3 points after picking off Drew Sims last time. So here we go, Yearby again, 3 straight to the running back, and he's going to power his way forward. He will not be denied. Chain gang is moving. First down for the Student Princes.
Makes a first down, tackle by John.
You know, we made a big point to talk about his athleticism and his speed, but Yearby that time using the strength to make sure they got the first down there.
Absolutely, and he just would not be denied as he kept his legs moving there. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Sims rolling out to his right under some pressure, and he's going to be taken down for a sack and a loss in the play. Oof, Drew Sims not happy with that one as he got up in frustration after being sacked. And that's going to complicate things for the Student Princes as now it's 2nd and long for Heidelberg.
Josh Beaver on the sack on that one. I believe it's his 3rd of the year for Ohio Northern's defense.
And he's somebody that we talked about in pregame, a defensive player to watch on the Ohio Northern side. So he's making his presence felt early in tonight's football game. Here we go. It's going to be Yearby off to the left side as he dodges one defender and works his way up for a short gain. And that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Student Princes.
You know, with that sack, that really moved them off schedule, and now you almost got to wonder if they're going to play for field position and make sure they can pin Ohio Northern back, or if they'll take a shot here. We'll see.
So here we are, 3rd and long for the Student Princes as they might need to go through the air to make up this long one. Spread out 3 to the wide right, or 2 to the wide right, 1 to the left for the Student Princes. So let's see if they go through the air again. Here we go, Sims looking to pass all the way, steps up. He's looking. He's got his man incomplete as he overthrows the intended receiver, number 3, Brandon Reed.
So far, we're seeing a lot of throws deep down the field, long developing routes, and that makes it even harder for that offensive line. So with that first sack of the game, that's up to a total of 8 on the season now on Sims. So we'll have to see if they game plan around that.
And Sims, usually a very accurate quarterback. We had mentioned 68% completion rate, and he has not been able to get on the same page as his receivers so far tonight.
Ohio Northern getting a lot of pressure. They're running a 3-3-5 defense. Oddly been successful against the run with it.
Absolutely. So low line drive kick. And it's going to be number 84, Austin Ike, who's going to take it and be run out of bounds. And the Polar Bears are going to have their second opportunity of the night here on offense.
First down for the Polar Bears.
I love it. Heidelberg's punter also serves as their middle linebacker. So if it ever were to get worst case scenario, you know you got a pretty sure tackler back there.
He's an excellent safety net for sure. So here we go. We're going to have the Polar Bears picking up at the 36-yard line. And, of course, Polar Bears, they didn't go anywhere last time. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. Fake to Brock Martin, and it's going to be Trevor McConnell right up the middle for a short gain as he picks up about 3 yards on the play. Last offensive series for the Polar Bears, it was Brock Martin 3 times right up the middle, and they were not able to convert on anything, forced them to kick the field goal. That's where they got their 3-0 lead, and a solid defensive effort, get it back, and see if they can make something. Martin, meanwhile, is tackled in the backfield, is really nowhere to run. There's a little extra pushing and shoving there after the play.
He was met in the middle by Parker Smith, the punter and middle linebacker for Heidelberg. He timed up the snap and just beautiful gap recognition.
Absolutely. Parker Smith pictured there on the screen, number 25, able to cut that gap and take Brock Martin down before he was able to do anything with it. Seems to be a trend so far, queuing in on Martin. So see if the Polar Bears can shift a little bit as they've got 4 split out wide. And that's going to put the weight of the offense on Trevor McConnell. So here we go, McConnell looking to pass all the way and intercepted. And wouldn't you know it, it's Parker Smith with the interception as the Heidelberg defense comes up huge on defense. Woo-hoo! Well, that's a good way to respond to the offense there. Shut them down, take the ball back, and give your offense phenomenal field position.
Heidelberg sat back, rushed 3, and put Ohio Northern in a tough position, doing something that is not their strength, which is throwing the football.
Yeah, Parker Smith showing up in consecutive plays, whether it's cutting Brock Martin down from behind or intercepting Trevor McConnell. Huge series for the Student Prince defense, and that gives Drew Sims in this offense phenomenal field position as they've got 1st and 10 from the 35. So here we go, and it's going to be Yearby off to the left side as he's got blockers, and he's continuing to push his way forward, getting close to that 1st down marker. Strong run, Montavious Yearby.
And right there, it looked like he was going to be met right at the line of scrimmage, but one cut, and man, it's such an explosive cut. He leaves him in the dust there.
Yearby has been the go-to back so far for Heidelberg as he's gotten all the carries. And Drew Sims uncharacteristically off throwing the ball as he looks to pass it here and hits the back of the defender, and the defender was not even looking. Man, number 33, Peyton Wilson, perfect position, but just wasn't looking for it as Sims hits him between the numbers.
Looked like he was throwing it right to him.
No doubt. So Sims continues his inability to connect through the air. So that forces Heidelberg to go back to Yearby on the ground, who picks up just enough for the 1st down. So they're going to get a fresh set of downs here as the chain gang is going to move again.
And, I'd like to see Heidelberg try to attack more the intermediate route tree and see if that gets them some more success here.
Yeah, so far they've been throwing it long and deep along the sideline, so that might be something to look into as you try to confuse this Polar Bear defense. Meanwhile, Yearby is drugged down after a short gain. That'll bring up 2nd and manageable for the Student Princes.
Adding to that point, they don't even have to go intermediate. They can go short passing game. There's a plethora of routes out there for these receivers to run.
Exactly.
Yeah, short, intermediate, slants, anything to get that passing game going, as it's really been ineffective so far tonight, and you're going to need it later in the game if you want to keep putting up some points against Ohio Northern. So here we are, 2nd and long for the Heidelberg as Yearby is thrown to the ground for a loss on the play.
Yeah, he did his best to keep his feet there, but Jaden Brown, the 6'3", 230 senior for Ohio Northern, wasn't letting him go.
Not at all. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Student Princes. And Yearby, no running room there. And we're going to see if Sims gets an opportunity to redeem himself through the air. So here we go from the 23-yard line. Sims looking through the air, steps up, tosses it, connects with his receiver, and that's going to be number 3, Brandon Reed, who's shoved out of bounds. 1st down, Heidelberg.
And what did we just talk about? A crossing route right over the middle there, and you allow your receiver to make a lot of yards after the catch on that.
Absolutely, and Sims able to connect for his 1st of the night here and looking to keep it going. Fakes it to Yearby, Sims all the way as he dives forward just short of the goal line. Drew Sims with the big carry, and Heidelberg's in business right now.
Well, that's something we don't see often. Every time you expect Yearby to take it.
Oh man, I can't even think how many yards Sims has had on the rushing on the year. Has not been much as Yearby just walks in. Touchdown Heidelberg as they get the first TD of the evening, and that's how you respond when you've got great field position.
Another thing Heidelberg's offense did there, they would up the tempo after a successful play, a big play. The Sims keeper on the read option, the Brandon Reed slant, up the tempo, get Ohio Northern off their feet defensively, and that matters. Yeah, no question, and they caught Ohio Northern off guard with the Sims keeper, and it pays off in a big way for Heidelberg as the PAT is up and good. So with 5:53 here, Heidelberg reclaims the lead 7-3 over Ohio Northern.
You know, throughout the first 2 games so far, Heidelberg, maybe they've had slower starts than they wanted, especially week 1, but one thing they've been consistent at is scoring at least a field goal in each quarter of the season so far. So a field goal or a touchdown. They're making sure that points are on the board.
And that's all you can ask for if you're Coach Donaldson there. You've got to put up points to continue to grind away at your opponent, and that's what they've been able to do here in the first.
It's a very important drive to be able to respond, not only with your offense, but your defense.
And Parker Smith, of course, you talk about defense there, and Parker Smith came up huge last possession as he set up that entire short field drive for the Student Prince defense, as he was able to pick off Trevor McConnell, and I imagine he wants another one of those INTs.
Absolutely.
All right, so here we go, and Heidelberg getting ready to kick it back to Ohio Northern as they've got control of tonight's football game so far. And up and away, and that's going to give the Polar Bears a chance to return it. And here they go, as it looks like it's number 5. Nope, I take that back. Number 6, Hunter Kelsler with the return, and that Heidelberg defense back on the field. So it's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line after the short return by the Polar Bears. So I'm anxious to see how the Polar Bears are going to respond and bounce back after throwing an interception. So far their offense been a little flat, 3 and out, forced to kick a field goal. Then they throw that INT, so Heidelberg's been able to handle them so far. McConnell, flag on the field as the ball's tipped and incomplete. So let's see what this one's on. It might be on ONU.
Passes incomplete. Flag on the play.
Offsides. Defense. Number 1. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So it's offsides on Heidelberg, and that's going to give Ohio Northern a little extra breathing room, as it's going to be 1st and 5 from the 30-yard line.
ONU went with a snap count there and got Heidelberg's defense to jump.
Here we go. McConnell fakes it to Martin, goes deep, and that's going to be close. Let's see who brought down. Incomplete, as the Heidelberg defense is able to knock it away. Huge play for Heidelberg.
That was intended for Peyton.
Joey, anything that you've been noticing down there on the field from this Heidelberg defense? It seems like they've really had Ohio Northern's numbers so far tonight.
Playing really solid tonight. Obviously only hold them to a field goal so far, and especially on a couple short fields. Let's see if they can keep holding them, keep stopping them, keeping them behind the chains, and get this ball back to this high-octane offense. Back to you guys up there.
And that's Austin Eck, who is able to convert 1st down for the Polar Bears. So a little razzle-dazzle. It looked as if Brock Martin might be rushing it. Instead, flips it out to his receiver, and here we go. And it's going to be McConnell straight up the middle as they catch Heidelberg flat-footed. Another 1st down for the Polar Bears.
And Heidelberg's linebackers, rather than staying home and trying to read Martin, reading McConnell, they both committed to Martin, and McConnell kept it and got big yards.
So Polar Bears, they're playing off of Martin here. Of course, Martin was the focal point in the first couple of drives, and they weren't able to do anything. And this time, using him as a decoy in a lot of different ways, and it's worked out well for Ohio Northern. So here we go. It's going to be McConnell passing all the way, has some pressure as he's looking deep, and he's got his intended receiver. It looks like number 7, Cooper Braden. Incomplete, and that's going to bring up 3rd down or 2nd down for Ohio Northern.
There was some pressure on that throw from the right side and ended up forcing the throw to go out of bounds. Good coverage as well.
Yeah, that's the second time they tried to test Joseph Norris back there, but he's held up both times.
All right, and here we go. 4:44 in first quarter here from Tiffin, Ohio, as McConnell looks to pass again, and he's got his man incomplete. Ooh, so lucked out right there. Let's go back down onto the field and have a chance to listen to Joey. Ohio Northern's been able to pick up a couple of first downs, but this is going to be a huge 3rd and long for the Polar Bears.
Big 3rd and long here coming up. If they can convert, Heidelberg's defense has got to go to that bend but don't break style. But this Heidelberg defense keeping them off schedule, keeping them behind the chains. Let's see if they can keep it up and force them to punt right here. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Joey, as it looks like Heidelberg defense may have jumped there. Flag on the field, and that could be, I think, likely the 2nd penalty for Heidelberg so far here in the first quarter.
Got him with a snap count again. Looks like Blackiston jumped off sides.
Defense, number 12, with contact, 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And, a penalty like that's bad enough, but on 3rd down and long, and that's just only going to assist Ohio Northern right here.
Yeah, and you're right there. Blackiston jumping as he's getting a little anxious. Of course, he leads this Heidelberg defense in tackles for loss, so he's chomping at the bit, trying to pin his ears back and go after the Polar Bears with this 3rd and long. But penalty helps out. Now it's 3rd and 5. But, whoa, there you go. Wouldn't you know it? Number 9, Tyler Turek takes down McConnell on a huge 3rd down stop for this Heidelberg defense.
They sent, I believe, 6, and ONU did not have enough to block all of them, and swarming sack.
McConnell, as he was looking to pass, he just stepped right up into the pocket, and that's right where Turek was waiting for him as he was able to drag him to the ground, and that's going to bring up 4th down and push the Polar Bears out of field goal position. So now they're forced to give it back to Heidelberg, and, hey, if you're the Heidelberg defense, this is exactly what you want. So here we go, and Student Prince's going to let it roll, and Ohio Northern with a fantastic punt, and they're going to bury Heidelberg inside the 2-yard line, and that's going to be a tough one for Drew Sims in this offense.
Norris there, he let it bounce a little bit, and I could see why. It was moving pretty quick, but he would have maybe got it around the 10, saved them about 7-8 yards or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Even he's going to take a hit, but you're right. Give your offense a little extra breathing room down there. But as it stands, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 3-yard line for Heidelberg.
Additionally, a punt like that's really hard to field when it's coming at you. It's wobbly. It's a quick, short one.
Absolutely. Always tricky as it bounces around. And here we go as it's Yearby off to the right side, and he's met by a line of orange jerseys as they're able to stop him with no gain on the play.
In the struggle to run the ball at an effective rate anyway, that'll be tested here in close to your own goal line.
And Yearby, he's been able to put up some solid runs so far tonight, but when you're this backed up this far on the field, Ohio Northern kind of expects him to get the ball. Meanwhile, Sims goes deep, and he just missed connecting with his intended receiver, Brandon Reed, and Reed had a step on the defender.
I'll tell you what, the way he laid out for that, I really thought he was going to bring it in.
No question. He got his hands on it. He was just not able to reel it in as the ball skipped off the turf, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long for Heidelberg. And we talked about Sims struggling to connect with those deep and outside passes. And we see another example of it as he threw it just a few inches too far. All right, it looks like we might have a timeout down on the field. Yep. Timeout Heidelberg there. So let's go down to Joey. Joey, you got a bird's eye view of that diving attempt by Heidelberg. What do you think they need to do here on 3rd down to convert from deep in their own territory?
Yeah, with Heidelberg backed up deep in their own territory, I think you got to go for it, but you also have to be wary of being backed up in your own end zone like that. So you want to get at least a chunk play here, get you away from the goal line, so you got a safe punt here. Let your defense go out. They've been playing their tails off, so let them go out, give them a good situation, and let's get the ball back, and obviously in a good field position. Back up to you guys.
All All right, thank you, Joey. Excellent coverage down on the field. Of course, Joey, our sideline man, going to be bringing the inside scoop for us all night long here, as we've got a huge 3rd and long for Heidelberg. And, of course, they took a timeout to try to get their offense together. So far, the offense not able to connect on those deep shots, and right now you've got a long ways to go on 3rd down. So here we go. It's Yerby and Sims in the backfield from their own end zone. Sims pressure, steps up, he's hit, and just it looks like he's just barely able to get out of that end zone as the defense collapses on the pocket, and ouch, that hurts. That's going to bring up 4th down from the 2-yard line. And that's the 2nd sack that Sims has taken tonight, as he's just been getting hit hard and just not able to get onto the same page as those receivers.
That's right. He was fortunate to step up quick enough to get out of the end zone before they brought him down.
No question, as Ohio Northern nearly was able to pin him in the end zone. But here we go. Let's see what they can come up with. Heidelberg, that is, as they've got a kick from deep in the end zone, and it's Parker Smith booting it. And that's going to hit about the 40-yard line. And, the return man there, number 16, Evan Tekanek, he just slips, falls, and goes nowhere.
Lucky break there if you're Heidelberg.
Absolutely. The turf monster helping him out a little bit.
Jack DeMario was the return man for Ohio Northern, number 16, the senior wide receiver. Just slipped and fell as he tried to turn it up, and he had a lot of space in front of him too, so he could have given his offense a little bit better field position. But hey, if you're starting off at the 44-yard line, that's still not a bad place to start if you're Ohio Northern.
Most definitely.
We've seen a lot of plus territory starts for each side so far.
Yes. Yeah. 7-3 from Tiffin, Ohio, with 2:16 remaining in the first quarter, and Ohio Northern hoping to get back in it as McConnell rolls out to his right and throws it away as Heidelberg defense is able to pressure him.
Getting a lot of pressure on both sides of the ball for both teams, really. Seems like neither quarterback has a lot of time to throw.
So far, defensive battle, you might say, brewing here at Horniman Stadium. Both sides have been doing some great work. Of course, Heidelberg, they've been able to pick off Ohio Northern, but Ohio Northern's also been able to pick off Heidelberg, so they've exchanged INTs as Brock Martin powers his way forward across the 40-yard line as he picks up a nice chunk of yardage here. And that'll bring up 3rd and short for the Polar Bears. So both sides have had pretty decent field position to start off, but both sides have turned the ball over here as well. And it's only Heidelberg that's been able to put a touchdown on the board. Again, 7-3 as it was a quarterback keeper, and Sims atoning for that early INT. And that's what you like. Here we go, pass, and McConnell able to connect with number 11, Jet Morgan.
Looks like he somehow was able to get the smallest amount of separation from Wiley there, which is not something we see too often around here.
Not at all. First down for the Polar Bears as they're up to the 34-yard line, looking to make some noise here as we've got a minute left. And it's Martin right up the middle as he bounces off of tacklers and picks up a huge chunk of yardage as he gets close to that first down marker. Looks like they're going to mark Martin down a few yards shy. Now, Martin, he comes into tonight's contest averaging about 3.5 yards per carry. So that one right there is a huge chunk of yards for this Ohio Northern rushing attack. Martin takes it right up the middle, drugged down by this Heidelberg defense, swarming as soon as he touched it. Man, that's the only way I can describe this Heidelberg defense on that one. They just swarm to the football.
They do a lot of it, and they're really, really good at it.
Heidelberg, they've been setting the tone so far tonight as the Ohio Northern offense not been able to do much, and you see it right there. Again, setting the tone as they drag Martin down, and he loses yardage, and that's going to bring up 4th down for Ohio Northern, and we're going to see if they keep the offense on the field or they try to put up another field goal. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see as first quarter ends here from Horniman Stadium in Tiffin, Ohio. Your Heidelberg Student Princes have a 7-3 lead over the visiting Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Let's take a short break, then we'll come back to Tiffin for the second quarter of action.
Zach Dillon here, and you're watching Heidelberg football on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State.
Hey folks, don't forget to check out the Pulse podcast every Monday night at 8 p.m. right here on Heart of Ohio Sports.
Hey guys, this is Aaron Steyer from the Over Under Pod. You catch us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 8:30. Come join the fun.
Like, follow, and subscribe to Heart of Ohio Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Welcome back to Horniman Stadium in Tiffin, Ohio, as the Heidelberg Student Princes have a 7-3 lead over the visiting Polar Bears. Polar Bears, of course, shut down on that last drive as they look to put up a few extra points with the pending PAT. And, looks like a little trickery, trying to get the Heidelberg defense off sides, maybe. Yep, they were trying that hard count and trying to get the Heidelberg defense to jump. They got them to jump once already tonight, and they're like, hey, why not?
You know, maybe on a 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, that could have been a little more effective, but at 5 yards, there's no danger there of him sneaking that.
Yeah, the sneak game was not in play, and the Student Princes didn't fall for that in any way, shape, or form. So I think we're going to get an actual look at the kicking game here as they're going to try to connect on that field goal that we were promising at the end of the first quarter.
It was a creative idea. I've never seen a hard snap out of a field goal before, but a note for D. Falco, he is 2 for 2 on field goals, now 3 for 3, and he's 5 for 5 on PATs, so he's essentially automatic.
Yeah, he's been money so far this season as looks to extend that money streak, and it's blocked.
And as I say,
Heidelberg's taking off with it.
As I say,
they block it and they take off with it, and he's going to be drug out of bounds, and it's number 2, Griffin Pendry.
All-American.
The All-American who is pushing the ball down for Heidelberg. What a phenomenal job. And it was Wiley who came up with the big block for the special teams.
There he is on the left side.
Wow. He came off that edge very quickly, and the guy out there had no chance of
He had a blocked field goal in week 1 against Adrian as well on that same left side.
And it was almost on cue when you start, pumping up the Ohio Northern kicker. You cursed him. That's what you did. You cursed him.
The old broadcaster kicker curse trick.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we'll just have to try to do that a few more times tonight to help out the Student Princes. So Student Princes take over after crossing midfield on the block, and it's going to be Yearby picking up huge yardage as he's got a first down on that big-time run for Heidelberg.
And if that doesn't showcase his speed, I don't know what will. He beat 2 separate defenders to the edge there.
As they've been trying to pound Yearby right in the heart of this ONU defense all night long, and then you forget about his breakaway speed, and you got a pretty good look at it right there as he picks up a first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for Heidelberg as Sims looks to pass, dumps it off to Yearby. He's got some blockers, and he weaves his way forward up to the 24-yard line. I think their official spot's going to be the 25-yard line, so a positive gain on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 5 for Heidelberg.
It looked like 85 Keller and number 3 Reed there, the receivers with some great lead blocks.
Phenomenal blocking by the Heidelberg receivers. Never get enough attention on those type of things there as Yearby takes a handoff hit behind the line of scrimmage, but keeps his legs moving as he's able to power his way forward for a short gain.
It's a third down.
We've seen that a number of times so far tonight, guys, where Yearby, he'll be hit, and that first contact doesn't take him down. He keeps moving his legs, and he's able to make something out of nothing.
Oh, yeah, much easier said than done to bring him down.
You betcha. So it's going to be 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 for Heidelberg, as they want to put up some points after coming up big on special teams. And the special teams gave them phenomenal yardage to start with. So here we go, Yearby, hit again, keeps on moving, but this time not able to go anywhere. And that's going to bring up a big 4th down for Heidelberg, as it looks like the kicking team coming out on the field.
Peyton Willis met him right in the middle and was able to keep Yearby from getting any extra yardage, forcing the field goal.
All right. I don't know if you want to talk about Heidelberg's kick game here.
I already know what it is.
We don't want to jinx them.
I will not say anything this time.
Not at all. We're seeing he's an all OAC kicker. Is he perfect on the day? We don't, or on the season.
He is
we don't
perfect.
Want
He is perfect.
We don't want to jinx him. All right, you're going to do great. You got this. You've got this. You've got this. And you know what? He's got this. The field goal is good, and that's going to extend the Heidelberg lead 10-3 as they put up some more points after they're able to convert on the huge special teams play that blocked. And that's a 6-point swing when you look at it, guys.
Yes. And that's one of the things with Heidelberg's special teams. When they're out there on the field goal unit, they really leave most of, if not their entire starting defense out there. And it makes the vulnerability for a blocked PAT or field goal much more likely.
Joey, let's go down to you on the field there. So Heidelberg able to convert after blocking a kick, and that's got to be an absolute energy swing for the Student Princes. All right, thank you, Joey. And Heidelberg, that 10-3 lead now after Brandon Steckel is able to convert with the kick. So here we go. Let's see, with the field goal, let's see what the Polar Bears do in response as Hunter Kessler takes it up 25-30. He's got some space, and it's, wouldn't you know it, on cue, it's going to be Steckel who drags him down before he's able to reach midfield, but a phenomenal return by the Polar Bears.
And, that reminded me of their last return. They just weren't able to hit the crease in time. That time, he was able to hit it full speed.
And huge return for Ohio Northern as their special teams, kind of making up for their last faux pas. And that gives their offense excellent field position as the Polar Bear offense is going to start up at the 46-yard line right around midfield. So let's see what they can do with it as they've got to score touchdowns now if they want to make this game interesting. Here we go, pitch, and they've got a new lead back in there. And looks like it's going to be number 1, Jameer Nunley, with the carry.
First time we've seen a non-Brock Martin running back in there.
Yes, so Brock Martin getting a breather here on this drive as he's been the bell cow so far tonight, getting all the carries for Ohio Northern. But Jameer Nunley, he got that last one, and he's able to pick up about 6. So here we go, McConnell looking to keep it alive as he goes through the air, and he's able to connect with his receiver, number 24, Nick Tangeman. First down, Polar Bears, as they cross midfield, and they've got some momentum going here on offense.
The ONU receivers, they have a lot of size in that receiving corps. We'll see if that becomes an advantage throughout the night.
And that's absolutely something to keep an eye on. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. McConnell, whoa! He almost got his tight end there, Noah Miller, the intended receiver. Miller just kind of had to put his arm out there as McConnell threw it just a little behind him and unable to connect, 2nd and long.
Almost turned into another Parker Smith interception.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And they picked McConnell off once so far tonight, and you're right. That was almost like a tip drill, and that's what you want if you're Heidelberg. Get that ball up in the air and give yourself a chance. So 2nd and long for the Polar Bears as they're looking to do something here. Flag on the field. And let's go down.
Offense, number 55, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So that's going to be false start on Ohio Northern as it's Cordell Wyatt, the senior offensive lineman, who jumps. So that's going to push them back, and now it's 2nd and 15 from the 45-yard line for the Polar Bears. And they're going to give it to Nunley, who takes it right up the middle and is going to be drugged down by the Heidelberg defense. Nunley getting his 2nd carry on this drive as he's replaced Martin, but wouldn't you know it, Martin comes back out for this big 3rd and long that the Polar Bears have coming up.
Max made a great point about Ohio Northern's receivers having size on Heidelberg's defensive backs. No Heidelberg defensive back is over 6 feet tall. Ohio Northern has receivers that are 6'1" to 6'4", and they do have a 5'9" receiver, so they do have some very marginal size.
There you go. McConnell flushed out of the pocket, forced to go right as he throws incomplete, unable to connect with his receiver, and that's going to bring up 4th down for the Polar Bears. Oof. Guys, talk about that size on these Polar Bear receivers. It was number 24, Nick Tangeman, who had to stretch out and use every single bit of that long frame of his just to have a chance.
6'4", 200. It's the biggest receiver that they have.
So Ohio Northern forced to punt the ball away to Heidelberg. And it's 10-13 here in the 2nd quarter, and plenty of time on the clock as Heidelberg looking to block another kick if possible. They're coming, they're bringing it, and Ohio Northern gets it up and away. And Heidelberg's able to pick it up at the 20-yard line and drug down around the 26-yard line is the return man for Heidelberg. That's number 6, Joseph Norris.
Yeah, that time he had no indecisiveness about him. He made sure he got that one.
Yeah, of course, last time we saw Norris out there, he kind of let it settle inside the 5-yard line. So we're happy to see that he's able to get the Heidelberg offense some better field position on this one as he powers his way forward right up to the 26-yard line.
Absolutely.
All right, 1st and 10 for Heidelberg from the 26-yard line as they look to extend their lead here tonight, and it's going to be Yearby right up the middle.
Strong cut.
And he's going to pick up huge yardage on the 1st down rush. Man, Yearby. Man, you guys talk about the cut, but Yearby, just the burst. That's what's impressing me.
Yeah, and on that one, Dalton Tajong had no chance. He's just a sophomore out there for ONU, so if I'm guessing right, he probably didn't see Yearby at all so far in his career. So
it looks like an Ohio Northern defender is down on the field here, so that gives us the opportunity to take a moment and thank some of our sponsors. I'd like to thank Pyramid Recruiting Offices. Pyramid Recruiting Offices, full-time service employment agency that has their roots firmly planted here in Tiffin, in the Tiffin community. Having worked together for over 30 years now, Sue and Diane have a mission, and that is helping great people find great jobs. Give them a call tonight, 419-447-0455, or stop by at 373 North Washington in Tiffin, Ohio. That's 5 minutes of your time that could change your life for the better.
it looked like 51 for ONU there. Tyler Iragoyen was able to walk off on his own power, so that's a good sign for them.
Yeah, that's good news for the Ohio Northern defender. Hopefully we'll be able to see him back on the field here soon. So back for Heidelberg, and it's going to be Yearby. easy first down pickup as he's going to be drugged down around the 41-yard line. That's going to keep the chains moving for the Student Princes.
And, you know, the most effective part about those runs, or the reason why they seem to be set up so well, is Sims is always making a glance over to one side or the other for the receiver, keeping those linebackers frozen for just a split second longer.
And Yearby, he was able to pick up about 31 yards in the first quarter, and he's continuing that positive trend here so far in the second quarter as he's jogging out of bounds after picking up another large chunk of yards as he gets close to the midfield marker.
That's another run to the left side that we're seeing there. They seem to be following the senior Wally Konowski pretty often here tonight.
Exploiting either a weakness for Ohio Northern's defense or a strength of the Heidelberg offense.
Precisely.
Puts Yearby at nearly 20 carries in this first half as well.
Wow.
A lot of carries for Yearby, but he's making the most of it and helping the Heidelberg offense move it as the whistle and flag is on the field. It looks like it might be a false start for Heidelberg, and that's too bad because the receiver had a huge step on the defender on that one.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's Pennick's only his second target of the night outside of the first throw that went his way but resulted in an interception. So see if they get him involved more here in the second quarter.
And that's the third penalty of the evening for Heidelberg, so that's something that they're going to need to talk about in the in halftime, try to clean that up a little bit because they cannot continue to shoot themselves in their own foot because that just slows down the type of damage they're able to do here. So another flag on the field as Yearby rushes off to the left and is pushed out of bounds right around where he was the first time before the previous penalty. So let's see what the flag is this time.
That flag came out at the snap. I'd assume offsides.
Offsides. Defense, number 10. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
This time it's on Ohio Northern as that's their second penalty of this quarter alone. So the two teams swap penalties, and whatever Heidelberg lost, they just gained again right there, and that's going to give them second and favorable as the offense tries to continue the positive momentum that we've seen so far this first half.
Yeah, we'll see if it's third time's the charm here on second down. Third second down in a row.
It absolutely is. Second and 2. And this time, whoa, look at that. Wow. Heidelberg rusher there just laid it to him. And I think it was number 35. That might have been TJ Ramey as he rammed his way forward to pick up the first down for Heidelberg. Woo.
Here's that tempo.
You betcha. Sims flushed out of the pocket, rolls to his left, short dump off to number 83, Devin Conyer, as he's going to be taken down right around the first down marker. That might be enough. Is Heidelberg able to continue moving the chains? Yep, first down. No, they're going to say he's just shy of that first down marker. It looks like inches shy of that first down marker. As Heidelberg, they've got something cooking here. Second and short, and it's going to be Ramey, who rams his way forward right through the Polar Bears. First down for the Student Princes.
And, you know, I don't know if it's just fresh legs, but those ONU defenders can't bring him down. He's just running right through them.
TJ Ramey, the junior tailback, who has been rushing hard all night long, and there you see him again as he is just abusing the Ohio Northern defense right now. First down, Heidelberg, and Ramey is just churning out yards. All right, second and short. And here we go. And Ramey is ramming Ohio Northern again for Heidelberg as they get another fresh set of downs.
Timeout. Ohio Northern.
And Ohio Northern is going to be forced to take a timeout as TJ Ramey has just been doing whatever he wanted to.
He came over to that sideline fired up.
Oh, no question at all that you're going to be fired up when you've got that kind of action going on down there on the field.
presenting a change of pace back to Yearby. And really, I think Ohio Northern called the timeout because of the tempo Heidelberg went with there after the first big run by Ramey.
Yeah, they definitely need a moment to collect their thoughts. Make sure that if he is back out there, that they're more equipped, probably have a better package on the field to handle that kind of runner.
And collect their breath.
Make sure that here at Heart of Ohio Sports, you're able to tune in every Monday at 8 p.m., the Pulse Podcast, as we're going to bring all sorts of fun sports activities to you. And, of course, we've got the live Coaches Corner from Benchwarmers here in Tiffin, Ohio, every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. right here at Heart of Ohio Sports. All right, Heidelberg offense, 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. And it's going to be Yearby who takes it right up the middle and is going to be drugged down inside the 10-yard line for Heidelberg.
Beaver and Taylor with the tackle.
You know, the last time they were in the red zone, they made a heavy emphasis on running the ball. I would have to assume they don't go away from that here.
And it's going to bring 2nd and short for Heidelberg as they go back to Yearby. And Montavious Yearby powers his way forward, getting closer to that 1st down marker. That's going to bring up 3rd and short for Heidelberg.
That defense for Ohio Northern has no answer right now to not only Yearby in the running game, but that Heidelberg offensive line is just dominating the line of scrimmage right now.
So it's 3rd and short for Heidelberg as Sims pump fakes, and he might have to hold on to it. This throws it away as he's pushed out of bounds. So that's going to bring up 4th down for Heidelberg as Sims unable to do anything on that particular play.
You know, the pump fake he had to do there really threw off any of the timing he would have had with Pennick, who was running a fade into the back of the end zone.
So something to keep an eye on here as the Heidelberg offense is still out there. They don't have much to go, but they were looking end zone right there, and Montavious Yearby has been, there you go. Yearby, they faked it to him, tried to throw a quick slant, ricochets off the receiver's hand, incomplete, and they're going to turn it over to Ohio Northern with 5:23 left in the first half of play here from Tiffin, Ohio, and Heidelberg has a 10-3 lead still, and we'll get another look at Ohio Northern.
And even though you don't put up points there, Ohio Northern has to go about 95 yards to score a touchdown.
Yep, absolutely. So let's go down onto the field and listen to Joey a little bit. I guess we're going to have to wait on Joey as he's getting everything ready down there. We're going to try to hear Joey's wise words as Ohio Northern's going to be forced to go 95 yards on this one as they hand it off to Martin. Martin powers his way off to the left side, and he's going to be drugged down right around the 7-8 yard line for Ohio Northern.
Martin with the carry. Riley and Thomas with the tackle. 2nd down.
You know, getting inside 5 minutes now, that's something ONU will probably have to keep an eye on, depending on what type of drive they go on here.
So the clock will be important here. 4:53, 4:52 remaining in the first half. Ohio Northern not been able to put up large chunk plays as Martin powers his way forward for a 1st down. Polar Bears not able to put up huge chunk plays, so it'll be interesting to see if they're able to get to the end zone here before halftime.
I'll tell you what, if Ohio Northern can keep getting 8, 9, 10-yard runs like that, they don't have to throw the ball down the field on this drive.
And Martin, he's been their go-to guy all night long.
That's the receiver thing on top. It's a big battery.
And he continues to pick up positive yards for them as the delayed handoff to Martin. He's hit hard and swallowed by the Heidelberg defense. No gain on the play.
Roberts pushed on the tackle.
The transmitter is dying.
You know, and with how much pressure that D-line for Heidelberg gets, doing a delayed draw like that, that's just asking a lot of those O linemen, and right there it just collapsed.
And that's what we've been seeing all night long is the Heidelberg defense. They've come ready to play. They've had turnovers, and they've pressured McConnell all night and really made it uncomfortable for him as McConnell looks to pass. And he's got his man. There you go. Jordan Dean streaking across the field, drugged down after getting past midfield. And this Heidelberg defense, first down for Ohio Northern. Well, guys, what about that? We were just talking about how Ohio Northern has been unable to get chunk yardage, and there you have a massive pickup for the Polar Bears.
And, you know, on that play, I would not have expected that to come off of Tremont Wiley on that one.
All right, so the Polar Bears across midfield now, 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line as McConnell is able to connect with his receiver. And it's going to be Martin off to the left side as he pushes his way forward for a nice little pickup there.
Another thing about that play downfield, Jordan Dean is 6'4", and Wiley, I believe, is 5'9". Yeah, he's 5'9". It's a big size advantage, and you're asking a lot out of Wiley to guard a guy that much bigger than him.
Yeah, and that's something you've mentioned once already. It's just that extra catch radius that Ohio Northern has over the Heidelberg defenders, paying huge dividends there for the Polar Bears. McConnell, meanwhile, is going to be drugged down and sacked by, you guessed it, number 25, Parker Smith. Where have we heard that name before, guys? Oh, boy. Parker Smith has had a whale of a game tonight. He's had an interception. He's had several tackles for loss. And now a big-time sack as that's going to push Ohio Northern back across midfield and make it 3rd and long for this Polar Bear offense.
Heidelberg bringing a lot of pressure on defense right now, not giving Ohio Northern any time to throw the ball.
And that's exactly what you want, pressure the quarterback and make him uncomfortable. And Trevor McConnell's been feeling it. And there you go. He's got 3 defenders right in his face as he dumps it off to Martin. Martin's going to be tackled and drugged down right around the original line of scrimmage for a short gain. And it looks like it's going to be timeout Heidelberg as they want to stop that clock. We've got 1:55 remaining in the first half of play. And Heidelberg trying to conserve a little of that time so that their offense gets another crack at the end zone.
And, you know, there we saw the Polar Bears try to take advantage of that aggressiveness, but I'll tell you what, the way he had to wait for it to develop on that screen, it allowed Heidelberg's defenders to get home quick.
Something to keep an eye on. Hunter Kessler, or I take that back, Joseph Norris, the return man for Heidelberg. He's had a little bit of a checkered evening. First time he got the ball, kicked to him on a punt. It was got it buried inside the 5, but the second time he made up for it with a huge return. So it'll be interesting to see what Heidelberg special teams is able to do here on this 4th down play. All right, so Heidelberg calling that timeout to pause the clock. That way they preserve as much time as possible for their offense here. And Polar Bears going to be forced to kick it away, not able to take advantage of that huge passing play that they converted on. And here you go, Norris. He's going to have a fair catch and kneel it down right around the 15-yard line, and that's where the Heidelberg offense is going to come out onto the field with 1:48 remaining in the first half, and they're going to hope to pick up a few points here before they call it. Now, something to remember, the Polar Bears get the ball back in the second half, so this is really the last chance. There's no going back if you're Heidelberg. This is the last chance to get some points here for the foreseeable future.
You know, we'll see if that changes the philosophy here. We saw them pass up on 3 last time. If they're in that position, they might take it this drive.
There you go. All right, so spread out formation. All Yearby, though, as he's going to be drugged down at the line of scrimmage. So for a second there, Heidelberg gave the appearance of pass all the way, as we know the clock is a factor here, but instead they handed off to the trusty Yearby, and he's going to be drugged down. No gain on the play, though. All right, here we go. Sims rolling out to his right. Pump looking to throw it. He's got his man. Incomplete, though, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for Heidelberg. 1:18 remaining on the clock here in the second quarter. And Heidelberg with a 10-3 lead so far, hoping to pick up some yardage, make it a little interesting, and see if they can add to their lead.
You know, that looked like another target there for Reed. And last week they weren't able to get him incorporated as much, but week 1 he had 2 very big plays. So they keep trying to go back to him for maybe a home run play, but it hasn't happened yet.
Reed, their second leading receiver, averaging 18 yards a catch, so a big-time receiver for Heidelberg. Here we go, Sims with the hard count, looking deep, and he's got his man, and it's going to be incomplete. Brandon Reed, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 4th down for Heidelberg.
Brings up a 4th down for Heidelberg.
And I think that was a grand total of maybe, if I'm doing my math right here, around 43 seconds off the clock. So
less than 45.
Yeah, so they definitely still, and with the field position how it is right now, Ohio Northern might have a chance here at the end of the half.
Absolutely, and depending on the type of return that Ohio Northern can put on it, you're right, they might be able to get something together. So a minute 11, a minute 10 remaining in the first half. And Ohio Northern's just going to let that sail out of bounds right around the 45-yard line. So good field position for this Polar Bear offense. And we saw them make a huge connection. Jordan Dean, that tall sophomore wide receiver, was able to pick up huge chunk yardage. But, of course, so far Ohio Northern, they really haven't been able to do anything with those positive plays.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can put a couple together here. And you know they trust their kicker. They've sent him out there multiple times for field goals already. So we'll see if Heidelberg can keep them from getting close enough.
And the Ohio Northern kicker, he's 1 for 2 today. His first miss of the season came just earlier in the first half here. So here we go. It's going to be McConnell. Avoids the pressure, looking deep, right up the middle, has his man. Oh, what a catch. Oh, my goodness. Number 8, L.J. Payton, able to hold on to it as he just bounces off the turf. First down for Ohio Northern.
Looked like he had 3 different guys that could have caught that ball, too.
Absolutely. Excellent concentration by the receiver, and it's going to be McConnell who steps up, and he's off to the races. 25, drug down right around the 23-yard line. That should be enough for another first down, Ohio Northern, as that's their second consecutive first down here in this short drive. We're down to 37 seconds remaining in the first half of play, and Ohio Northern, they're making it interesting.
It was a heck of a throw by McConnell off of his back foot to Peyton, who's 6'1", but only 155 pounds. And he came down awkwardly on his head, but they've got Heidelberg on their heels right now.
And I'm not sure what's going on down here on the field, but they've stopped the clock, and the officials are having a quick conversation. The head coach for Ohio Northern was in the ear of one of the officials over there on the sideline, so I'm not sure if his words had anything to do with this brief delay, but there you go. All right, clock is moving now, so here we go. McConnell looking to pass all the way, going deep as this receiver falls down. Hat on the field here, so we might have another penalty that we've got to deal with. So that's an incomplete. Straight up incomplete pass. No flag on the field. So that's going to bring up 2nd and short for Ohio Northern as they're looking to try to put some points up before the end of the half, which if you're Ohio Northern, that's the ideal scenario. You're able to convert, put up a few points, then you get the ball back in the second half, and you get another try at it. So here we go, 3rd and short for Ohio Northern as they're standing on the 25-yard line. McConnell, quarterback keeper, and he's got the first down and a little bit more as he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. So another first down for Ohio Northern, and the rangy Parker Smith able to track him down and tackle him before he's able to do any more damage. And Parker Smith, I got to say, he is just all over the football field tonight, guys.
Definitely.
Very high energy player, that's for sure.
Oh, all right, 1st and 10 for Ohio Northern. McConnell looking to pass and intercepted. Intercepted by you-know-who, number 25, Parker Smith. This time he's returning it 35 up to the 40, and that's his second interception of the night. Ooh.
With those moves after the catch, you might want to play him on offense. I mean, he made at least 2 or 3 guys miss.
Absolutely. Parker Smith has been a one-man wrecking crew for Heidelberg. Oh, no. Okay, all right, so it's going to be penalty on Heidelberg, and that is their 4th penalty of this half, but they're able to keep the INT, which is the good news, and with 15 seconds remaining in the half, that's what you want. You don't want to give Ohio Northern any opportunity to put points up.
And from the sounds of it, it seems like Tyler Turek got a little excited blocking the quarterback on the run back there. At first I thought it would have been a roughing the passer, but clearly he didn't hit him in the replay there.
You see on the defensive play there by Smith, he absolutely baited McConnell into making that throw. The receiver was wide open, and he just played safety and baited him. It was an excellent defensive play.
No question whatsoever. And here we go, as it's going to be number 35, Ramey, right up the middle, and that should bring us to halftime here. So it's halftime, 10-3 Heidelberg. And let's take go over to Joey for a quick update here. So, Joey, you've had a bird's eye view down there on the field. What are your thoughts here so far from what you've seen in the first half of play from Tiffin?
Yeah, after that first half, Heidelberg goes into halftime with a 10-3 lead, and you can't be more proud with how the defense responded there. Ohio Northern went on a big drive, then getting the big crucial turnover right there. Now that defense riding some momentum. Defense comes out in the first half. ONU starts with the ball. So let's see if Heidelberg can capitalize, get a quick 3-and-out, and get that offense back on the field for Student Princess. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Joey. So halftime at Horniman Stadium, 10-3 Heidelberg with the lead over their OAC opponent, Ohio Northern. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come right back. Make sure you don't go anywhere. Our halftime show is right around the corner. We're going to review the first half of action. And, of course, we've got the Heidelberg Marching Band, who always putting on a show right here at Heart of Ohio Sports.
Nate Mullins here. You're watching Heidelberg football on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State.
How are we doing, guys? My name is Joey Krajewski. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out the Over Under podcast every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock and every Sunday morning. Thank you, guys.
Tune in every Monday night at 8 o'clock for the Pulse podcast right here on Heart of Ohio Sports, live from inside Studio Squared in downtown Tiffin.
Be sure to give us a like, follow, and subscribe to Heart of Ohio Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back. It's halftime at Horniman Stadium from Tiffin, Ohio, as the hometown Heidelberg Student Princes have a 10-3 lead over the visiting Ohio Northern Polar Bears. All right, everybody, we are moments away from a big-time halftime show from the Student Prince Marching Band. So in moments, you're going to hear some of the best music that you can find in the area. They were marching through the parades, through the streets of Tiffin in the parade this morning, and now they're going to be marching onto your screen here from Horniman Stadium. So without further ado, we're going to take you down to the field as the Heidelberg Marching Band takes center stage.
Tonight, we pay tribute to what's popular today. It's no news program, but it is our Today Show with the pride of Heidelberg, the Heidelberg University Marching Band. The artist known as Lil Nas X is one of today's hottest names, not only in music, but also in fashion, and so much more. It's time to groove along to his chart-topping hit, Industry Baby. Today is a lady that really captures the hearts of music lovers. I mean, what's not to like about her? She's entertaining, has a great voice, some great dance moves, and most of all, she plays the flute. It's the one and only Lizzo. We had to include her today because she's good as hell. Teller has put people on notice that Goose and the one and only Jerry Lee Lewis doesn't have anything on him. So let's shake some nerves and rattle some brains. Feel free to join in. Goodness gracious, it's Grande Huevos de Fuego. Oh, sorry, it's the wrong one. Great multiplier. Gentlemen, thank you for your attention and your applause. We are the pride of Heidelberg, the Heidelberg University Marching Band.
Zach Dillon here, and you're watching Heidelberg football on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State.
Hey folks, don't forget to check out the Pulse podcast every Monday night at 8 p.m. right here on Heart of Ohio Sports.
Hey guys, this is Aaron Steyer from the Over Under Pod. You catch us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 8:30. Come join the fun.
Like, follow, and subscribe to Heart of Ohio Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram.
Nate Mullins here. You're watching Heidelberg football on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State.
How are we doing, guys? My name is Joey Krajewski. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out the Over Under podcast every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock and every Sunday morning. Thank you, guys.
Tune in every Monday night at 8 o'clock for the Pulse podcast right here on Heart of Ohio Sports, live from inside Studio Squared in downtown Tiffin.
Be sure to give us a like, follow, and subscribe to Heart of Ohio Sports on Facebook, YouTube.
Welcome back to Horniman Stadium in Tiffin, Ohio, as the Heidelberg Student Princes have a 10-3 lead over the visiting Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Welcome back to Heart of Ohio Sports. We've got 3,000 strong fans here in Tiffin, Ohio, and they are excited to get the second half of action underway here. So let's do a quick recap, gentlemen, and fill everybody in on where that 10-3 score came from. All right, so really, I think defense has been the name of the game so far tonight, as it's been number 25, Parker Smith, who has been wreaking havoc on Ohio Northern. He's got 2 interceptions so far tonight, and he's got a couple tackles for loss and a sack, and that kind of explains almost the offensive side of it for the Polar Bears. Now on the other side here, Drew Sims, quarterback Drew Sims, he's had a bit of a rough go at it so far tonight, and his rushing game has had to bail him out, as he hasn't really put up many yards at all. But Heidelberg, they were able to connect on a Drew Sims quarterback keeper in the first quarter there at the end of the first quarter to give Heidelberg their first touchdown. And then later on, early in the second quarter, they were able to connect with a field goal, and that's given you your 10-3 score here from Tiffin, Ohio. So, guys, did I miss anything? What stands out to you?
Well, if we get a little closer into the stats and break it down, each team has struggled mightily when it comes to third down success. Heidelberg, 3 of 8, and ONU, 2 of 8. So with the time of possession being right down the middle, pretty similar, those seem to be the difference. They can't continue the drives. They can't find a play on third down to keep them going. And as a result, the scoreboard is pretty empty right now.
Yeah, and we talk about not being able to extend drives, especially on Heidelberg's side. They've only got 22 yards passing right now, so you talk about trying to keep things moving along. Connecting on a few of those deep passes could certainly help things out. So, Trayvon, what are you thinking here?
Well, one thing to note, Yerby had 20 carries in the first half, 83 yards. He did have a touchdown off of the Sims keeper for like a yard. So he is averaging 4.1 yards a carry in the first half on those 20 carries, which is a ton. But besides that, defense has played tremendous for both sides.
All right, so there you have it. A quick recap here from up in the booth. So let's go down to Joey. And Joey, tell us a little bit about what you saw in the first half, but more importantly, what do you expect to see here in the second half?
Hey, thanks for sending it down, guys. In that first half, we saw a lot of physical running game. Both sides of the ball. We had ONU really running the ball, trying to control the pace of the game, as well as Heidelberg getting the ball, Montavious Yerby's hands, and really setting the tone of the game, and then trying to open up with that passing game. In the second half, you could almost expect the same thing. You'd like to see Heidelberg kind of build off that run game and then hit them with some play action, stretch the field vertically, as well as that defense. They've created multiple turnovers. So let's see them trying to eliminate some of those long drives and just get 3 and outs and turnovers and kind of wrap this game up. And let's get that ball back in the Heidelberg offense's hands, get some more points up on the board. Let's get out of here with the Bendo Championship, guys. Thanks. Back up to you guys.
Powers his way up across the 30-yard line, drug down right around the 33-yard line, and Heidelberg is pepped for that one.
Yeah, and I'm sure Coach Donald's going to be the first to tell you it's nowhere near their best half of football they played. Even with how strong they were on defense, there's a lot of stuff that he probably was trying to correct in the locker room there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point because Heidelberg, they're accustomed to scoring points. They've averaged, 37 points a game so far this season. So 10 points is well below what they're accustomed to seeing out there on the football field. Mm-hmm. So here we go. Let's see if the Heidelberg defense can keep up their ways by abusing Ohio Northern and their offensive line. So first and 10 from the 33. And wouldn't you know it? Fumble on the field as McConnell is hit hard by the defense. And he's going to hold on to it, tackle for a loss, and just like that, the Heidelberg defense making their presence felt.
We saw a corner blitz there from Heidelberg by Tremont Wiley, and he came flying off the edge, and no offensive lineman picked him up because they didn't see him.
Not much you can do the way this defense has been playing. And there it is again. And it looks like McConnell forced to throw. Oh, he had his man, the intended receiver, Jordan Dean, unable to reel it in as he just flips it away. And Jordan Dean, of course, had a huge reception in the first half and unable to repeat the same type of success here in the second half.
I was going to mention his catch down the field of 30 yards was actually the longest play of the half, believe it or not. So let's see if they can get him involved again.
And that's kind of a crazy thing because when you look at somebody like their lead back, Brock Martin there, only averaging 3 yards a carry, that 30 yards really comes in big. Mm-hmm. So here we go, 3rd and long for the Polar Bears, and it's McConnell all the way as he powers his way closer to that first down marker as he's tackled right around 43, and that might be enough for a first down, and yes, it is, as the chain gang is moving. McConnell with a massive run to keep the Polar Bears drive alive. And we saw McConnell rush the ball a couple times in the first half, so he might be the key to their rushing success here in the second half.
Yeah, if the Heidelberg defenders have to stay honest to him, that changes this second half for sure.
So here we go, and it is first and 10 for Ohio Northern. McConnell, quarterback keeper, this time drugged down to the ground, not fooled, and that's going to be number 21, Easton St. Clair, who is able to stop McConnell from repeating the success he had before.
You saw all of Heidelberg's defensive players swarm Martin there, and then luckily St. Clair was the one man to stay with McConnell because he had a ton of green field.
Yeah, excellent discipline by the Heidelberg defense as there was only one person to get around, so you got it there. So here we are, second and long for Ohio Northern as they got three split out to the wide left and might have to toss it through the air, and looks like timeout Heidelberg as they saw something they don't like.
Heidelberg, they're first.
With that timeout, I want to thank one of our big-time sponsors here. Do you belong to a credit union? Oof, if you don't, Your Legacy Federal Credit Union has joined with more than 5,600 credit unions across the country to share their branches so that members can conduct financial transactions at locations nationwide. This way, members of one credit union can conduct a variety of transactions at another credit union through the co-op shared branch network. Stop at your federal credit union located at 25 Schaefer Park Drive so that we can help you. Make sure you bring your government-issued photo ID and account information from your home credit union. Your community, your legacy, federally insured NCUA. So 12:56 here in the third quarter, and Ohio Northern creeping up close to midfield as Heidelberg using their first timeout of the half. And that's going to give them the opportunity to try to slow down Ohio Northern as they want to make a game out of this. So here we go, second and long for the Polar Bears. McConnell from going to be pushed out of the pocket. He's going to be drugged to the ground, nowhere to go, and Heidelberg's loving it. And wouldn't you know it, Zachary Blackiston, the team leader in tackles for loss, puts another one on his belt.
And that time he wasn't alone getting there, but he happened to be the one to finish off the play.
I've been very impressed by this Heidelberg defense. They've been swarming to the ball all night long, and that's really prevented Ohio Northern from being able to do anything offensively. Mm-hmm. So here we go. It's 3rd and 15 from the 38-yard line for the Polar Bears. Last time they converted on a huge quarterback keeper by McConnell. Let's see what it takes this time. McConnell looking through the air, intercepted. Intercepted by Heidelberg as they return it up to the 40. And still running, 35-30. He could go all the way, 20, 10. And it's going to be number 6, Joseph Norris, with a huge pickoff and a huge return. And Heidelberg is excited now.
We get a good look at it there. It seems like 2 receivers were converging on the same spot, and if you're a quarterback, you know that means there's going to be multiple defenders in the area when it gets cluttered like that.
That's exactly what happened, and Norris peeled off his guy and went to the other route and picked off McConnell and had a phenomenal run back, and now Heidelberg set up for not just points but a touchdown.
Absolutely. Norris getting a huge INT off of the Polar Bears, and then he took it back almost 40 yards, giving his offense premier position to work with. Here we go. It's going to be Yearby as he stumbles his way forward, pushes his way forward up close to the 5-yard line. Another positive gain for the workhorse running back.
Taylor and Blue with the stop.
So here we go, second and short, second and goal for Heidelberg. And it's Yearby again off to the left. And he, just tripped up, falling just short of the goal line marker. So that's going to bring up 3rd and inches for Heidelberg. Wow. I thought Yearby was going to get that one in there. He almost did, too.
Yeah, it looked wide open. I couldn't catch the number, but ONU defender did a great job turning him back inside, and somebody else was able to bring him down just short.
So Drew Sims able to punch it in last time. Let's see who is able to do it for the Student Princes this time, and Yearby gets the call. Heidelberg says it's a touchdown, and so do the officials. Touchdown, Heidelberg. And just like that, off of a huge interception, Heidelberg's able to drive it in, score a touchdown, and that is exactly what we want to see. And you can hear the band. They're going. The cheerleaders are cheering. And the 3,000 strong here in Tiffin enjoying every moment of it as the PAT is up. And it is good. Oh, no wide left, so no good. So that'll keep our score. Heidelberg 16, Ohio Northern 3, with 10:44 remaining in the third quarter of play here from Horniman Stadium. Like to thank another one of our sponsors. Maybe a call out here. Season 2 of Birdcast is back next week, where Brett Reed sits down with Heidelberg safety Easton St. Clair. So make sure that you listen exclusively here at heartofohiosports.com.
You know, with another short drive there, Heidelberg has all 3 of their scoring drives started from inside the opponent's 35. So that's been the key so far. Anytime they've been set up nicely, they get the job done. So it's really complementary football out there with the defense to offense.
Yeah, and if it's the defense, just done an excellent job so far tonight. I mean, 3 interceptions and tons and tons of pressure on the quarterback there, Trevor McConnell for Ohio Northern.
Mm-hmm. You hit it right on the money.
So Yearby picks up another touchdown that he can add to his resume, and that's exactly what he likes. That's his second touchdown of the season here, and Heidelberg has a commanding lead as they're able to bury Peyton, the return man, right around the 20-yard line.
Tackled by Mueller. First and 10 Polar Bears.
I'll tell you what, the sky kick there was really effective. Gave the Berg special teams unit some time to get down there, and looks like they're going to get them inside the 25. Yeah.
And special teams, they've been doing an excellent job here for Heidelberg. They've got a blocked kick already, which turned into points for Heidelberg. And they've done an excellent job of setting up their offense, too. So kudos to the special teams. And meanwhile, Brock Martin takes the catch as he's pushed down right around the 32-yard line. Nice gain on that first down play. Martin, of course, he's been the go-to back for Ohio Northern. I believe that's his first catch of the evening that he can add to the many, many carries that they've given him. Fake to Martin, tosses it out to the wide-open receiver. Didn't catch the number. It looked like it might have been Alec Fletcher. Nope. I think it was 24, number 24, Colin Hughes. I take that back. Nick Tangeman. I got to get my right rosters here, guys. So it's going to be the Polar Bear.
One of them got a first down. That's all you need to know.
One of the guys in the Polar Bear jersey caught the ball, did some stuff, yada, yada, yada. And there they did it again.
Martin with the carry. Way back with the tackle.
All right, let's go down to Joey on the sideline here after Heidelberg puts up another huge touchdown to extend their lead. What did it look like for you down there from the field?
Big touchdown Heidelberg got right there, gave them some cushion, and now they can really allow this defense to open up and create some pressure like they've been doing all night. hopefully force some more turnovers and get that offense back on the field. On this drive, though, keep them behind schedule. Heidelberg's defense has to keep ONU's offense off schedule, keep them behind the chains, and make them force the football down the field. More Heidelberg turnovers. Thanks, guys. Back.
Thank you, Joey. As Brock Martin powers his way forward for a short gain on that play there. Pretty exciting stuff there from our man on the sideline, Joey Krajewski. All right, it's going to be 3rd and short for Ohio Northern, as they're hoping to keep this drive alive so that they can close the gap that Heidelberg's created. Here we go. McConnell hands it off, and it's going to be a sweep right up the middle, and that should be enough for a first down, Polar Bears. It's going to be number 82, Davey Berner, the tight end, who's able to convert this time for Ohio Northern.
And, they had me fooled with that motion there. I thought for sure that was going out wide.
It looked like it for sure, and then he shovel passed it inside.
Yeah.
Very creative play.
That's the kind of attention that McConnell and Martin have on a defense. You got to focus, and then before you know it, shuttle pass, first down. So here we go, 1st and 10 from the 45 for the Polar Bears as McConnell tipped pass at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd and long for Ohio Northern.
Was deflected at the line, intended for tangible.
And this Heidelberg defense just doing an absolute excellent job, as if it's not pressure, they're able to get their hands up and make it difficult for McConnell to do any kind of passing here today. All right, 2nd and long for Ohio Northern, as they've got that stacked formation, and they're going to pitch it to number 1, Jameer Nunnally, the senior running back for the Polar Bears, as he's going to be drugged down after a short gain on the play. So 3rd and long for Ohio Northern, as this drive seems to be stalling out a little bit for them.
A big advantage for Heidelberg. They're able to rotate so many guys in and out on that D line, so there's really a lot of fresh legs. And for the Ohio Northern offensive line, that's a tough thing to keep in front of you.
Without question. If you have fresh bodies, it brings that energy, makes it difficult for a worn-out Polar Bears. So here we go. McConnell looking to pass, and steps up, throws the ball. He's got a man. This time it's number 84, Austin Eck. And that's a first down for Ohio Northern. And we've seen Eck a couple times tonight, as he seems to be the favorite receiver. And he's a little bit shorter in stature, not like some of the other guys that they've got out there. I mean, he looks short from up here at least.
Yeah, so he's the odd man out compared to the rest of that receiving corps.
Any way you look at it, first down Polar Bears on the huge conversion, as McDonald looking to go deep, and his receiver trying to make some space, incomplete, as there's phenomenal coverage by the Heidelberg defender, Joseph Norris. Oof. And Norris, of course, was able to pick off McConnell last drive, so testing Norris may not be a great idea for Ohio Northern.
And Heidelberg has 3 really good coverage corners, and Wiley, Cunningham, and Norris, and they can rotate all 3 of those guys, and it makes it really hard to pass on them.
It makes it really easy for that defensive line just to pin their ears back and go to town on Ohio Northern too. So that's a great luxury to have. So here we go, 2nd and long, and it's McConnell who is buried and swallowed by the Heidelberg defense. We were just talking about how that D-line can just go, and there you have a good example of how they do that.
Sent some all-out pressure, too, and they were able to basically sack him with, it looked like 4 guys. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to credit that sack.
I think they sacked him with his own offensive lineman is what happened.
Correct. I don't know if you can do a quarter of a sack to somebody. I definitely saw 46 Isaiah Cameron get in there, one of them.
Pass out a quarter here, a quarter there. Everybody gets a little bit of that sack right there. Team effort. So 3rd down and long, and Brock Martin's going to take the carry as he bounces up to the 35-yard line. Short gain on the play, 4th and long for Ohio Northern.
And I got to give him a shout out coming up from his corner / safety position. St. Clair, that's his third run stop of the game so far. He's not afraid to get in there and lay a hit on somebody.
Yeah, he's been very, very active tonight, as has the entire Heidelberg defense. And if you're a defensive player, these are the type of games that are fun. You know you got great coverage, and as a defensive line, you can just play. You can just play some football. So here we go, Ohio Northern. Going to have to kick it back to Heidelberg and hoping to pin them in deep. And that's, is it? I'm not sure. That's going to be close. Yes, it is. Ohio Northern able to pin Heidelberg at the 1 yard line. This is the second time tonight that Ohio Northern has been able to pin Heidelberg within the 3 yard line. And that's a huge, huge special teams play. As you can see here in the replay, great bounce from the 10 yard line. And special teams, they're just able to tap it down right at the 1 yard line. Huge special teams play for Ohio Northern.
You know, on that one, it looked like he was running a route or something, waiting for the ball to come to him, and he did a great job eyeing that up.
Whew. So it's really the special teams for Ohio Northern has done the most damage in tonight's game. They account for that lone field goal. And, of course, they left a few points on the field. But the kicking game has been strong in the sense that they've been able to bury Heidelberg. And last time they were down here, Drew Sims was nearly tackled for a touchback there. And that safety. So it'll be interesting to see if Ohio Northern can do anything. So Yearby gets a little breathing room for Heidelberg as he picks up a few yards on the play.
You know, I think in this location on the field, Devin Conyer, the tight end, he could be a real asset right here, getting him the ball if they choose to pass it, that is.
And passing's been spotty for Sims so far tonight. It's been the rushing game that's been consistent, so we'll see if they're able to dial something up here as they're buried. Second down from the 6 yard line. And it looks like it's a flag on the field here as a little extracurricular behavior outside of the tackle. But Heidelberg able to power it forward. It might have been number 3, Brandon Reed, who picked up those yards.
Dead ball, personal foul, 33 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And penalty is on Ohio Northern. That's their third penalty of the evening. And that gives new life to the Heidelberg offense as they were once buried at the 1 yard line, but now they're sitting pretty at the 24 yard line in a fresh set of downs.
And you just know John Michael Elliott, the punter for the Polar Bears, he can't believe that. He set him up perfect, and now Heidelberg has found their way out of it.
Oh, that's an excellent point. So here we go, 1st and 10 for Heidelberg as Yearby, the workhorse, takes it and works his way forward, has a very, very short gain on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and long.
Jong in on the stop.
And, you know, with these tough yards, you got to wonder how soon we'll see T.J. Ramey in the second half here to give Yearby a break.
Absolutely, and Yearby, he had how many rushes there in the first half?
20.
So you take those 20 and then you add, there he goes, 40, 45, 50. Yearby still running, cross midfield, 30. He's still moving, 20. And he gets by one tackler and he's drugged down right inside the 10-yard line. And now he's going to need that breather after a huge gain for Montavious Yearby. We were just getting ready to say maybe he should have that. There he goes, huge gain.
Wow. Shot out of a cannon, and he was very close. I mentioned pregame, every season he's had a play of 70 yards or more, very close there. We'll have to see on the stats.
Sims back to Ramey, right up the middle. So Yearby, he had 20 carries in the first half, and he's had quite a few here in the third quarter. The last one being the most significant as he picks up almost 50 yards on that run, and he sets up this Heidelberg offense with a chance to widen their lead, already a 16-3 lead over Ohio Northern. So here we go, 2nd and goal for the Student Princes. And it's going to be Sims to Ramey. Ramey rams his way forward inching closer to the goal line for Heidelberg.
You know, 3rd and goal now. We'll see if they play with 4th down, 2 down territory, if you will. We'll see if they maybe try to set up a play on 4th down if they can't get in here.
We've got 2 minutes and 15, 2 minutes and 14, now down to 2:12, 2:11 remaining in the third quarter here from Horniman Stadium in Tiffin, Ohio. Heidelberg's in the lead, looking to stretch it more as Ramey scores a touchdown. Touchdown, Student Princes, as they widen that lead now to 22-3. Woo-hoo. So much for an advantage. We thought that the Polar Bears might be able to do something with that first opportunity in the second half, but I got to be honest, so far here in the third quarter, it's been all Heidelberg all game.
Yeah, they've really been able to lock up the momentum here, and with the way their defense has been playing, you don't foresee them giving it up.
Not at all. As Ramey punches it in, pending the PAT here, which is up and good. Heidelberg now has a 23-3 lead over the Polar Bears. Whew. How about that, guys?
Hey, those explosive plays. We talked about it in pregame. We didn't see many in the first half, so we didn't talk about it at halftime. But those explosive plays could end up being the difference here. And right now, Heidelberg, I think they probably have more of them, if I had to guess.
Well, it's nice when you have a guy like Montavious Yerby who can rattle off a 50-yard run. That helps. And both of you were saying, hey, watch out for Montavious. He's a dangerous weapon on the field. And you did not mislead our viewers at all.
It helps when you have an offensive line that can maul almost any team that they play.
Oh, yeah, it's such an experienced group. I know there's at least a couple of graduate guys and multiple seniors on that front.
No question at all. So TJ Ramey, that is his first touchdown of the season here, and he gets it after making the most of Yerby's long run. Now, make sure that when you are thinking about Heart of Ohio sports, make sure that you tune in every Friday night as we've got high school football at 7 p.m. We've got all the local teams and all the high school action that you could need right here at Heart of Ohio Sports. So here we go. Heidelberg kicks it back to Ohio Northern after the damage has been done, and let's see what the Polar Bears do as their return man, Hunter Kessler, is able to power his way up to the 25-yard line, and that's where the Ohio Northern offense comes back onto the field.
We saw some chippiness there at the end of the kickoff. Ohio Northern got to make sure they keep their cool, as does Heidelberg, not do anything to give any free yards away.
Yeah, Ohio Northern, they've already got 3 penalties so far tonight, and they don't want to give away free yards at all, especially when you are down 20 points against a very, very tough Heidelberg football team. So here's the star of the night, ladies and gentlemen, the Heidelberg defense back onto the field, and let's see what kind of trouble they can create for Trevor McConnell and the Polar Bears. Here we go, 1st and 10. McConnell rolls to his left, slings it, incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd and long for Ohio Northern.
We'll see what Ohio Northern tries to do here. Passing isn't really their focal point of their offense, and they're kind of forced with the situation in the game to really open up the offense.
And Ike, the intended receiver there, he's their go-to guy. And, of course, Ike is their leading receiver, puts up about 15 yards per catch. He was coming into tonight's contest with 180 yards, so Heidelberg knows they've got to account for Ike. Here we go, McConnell looking. He's got time, plenty of time here. Throws it between Heidelberg defenders, and it's Ike picking up the first down for Ohio Northern.
Impressive throw.
He had 3 or 4 black shirts in the area and just got it by them. As you can see here, McConnell looks to his left. Great blocking by his offensive line. Slings it right by Heidelberg defenders. And Ike gets the first down that they needed. 1st and 10 from the 46 for the Polar Bears. as they give it to number 1, Jameer Nunnally, as he powers his way close to the midfield marker.
Smith and Pendry with the stop.
And you can see right there in the middle of the screen, it's number 25, Parker Smith, right in the middle of that tackle.
Yeah, I'm sensing a theme here tonight.
Yes, unless there are multiple number 25s out there on the defense, I think that's probably a safe bet to assume. So here we go, second and short for Polar Bears, and toss over to Nunnally. Nunnally's going to be drugged down by the Heidelberg defense, just short of the first down marker. It's going to be taken down right at that midfield, right at the 50-yard line. Clock's going to keep on moving. We're at 32 seconds remaining in the third quarter here, as the Polar Bears are starting to pick up a few yards, and they really need this, as they've got 3 scores to make up for. Here you go. All right, McConnell. Wow. He gives it to Nunnally. Nunnally works his way forward, and he may have dropped it. Yep, Heidelberg's got the football right now, and it's number 2, Griffin Pendry, who is holding it. And, yep, it looks like it's going to be another Heidelberg turnover, the 3rd turnover of the evening. Whew. What do you think about that? Look at this, guys. All right, so Nunnally takes it right up the middle, and he's going to be hit hard. And I didn't see which defender hit him first, but whoever did.
Looks like Nolan Flanagan was able to strip the ball out, and he had a little help. Colin Hughes was able to deliver a blow, and while he was dealing with that, easy strip for the junior defensive tackle.
No doubt, and that is that's the I believe the 3rd. Oh, long. Oh, incomplete. Excellent coverage by Ed Manning there on the defense, as he was in perfect position to knock it away.
That's the end of the third quarter.
So that's going to be the end of the third quarter here from Horniman Stadium, as your hometown Heidelberg football team has a commanding 23-3 lead over the visiting Ohio Northern Polar Bears. You're listening to Heart of Ohio Sports. We'll be back with fourth quarter action.
Zach Dillon here, and you're watching Heidelberg football on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State.
Hey folks, don't forget to check out the Pulse podcast every Monday night at 8 p.m. right here on Heart of Ohio Sports.
Hey guys, this is Aaron Steyer from the Over Under Pod. You catch us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 8:30. Come join the fun.
Like, follow, and subscribe to Heart of Ohio Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. Welcome back to Horniman Stadium here in Tiffin, Ohio, as the Heidelberg Student Princes have a commanding 23-3 lead over the Polar Bears. And just before the end of that third quarter, guys, we saw the star of the game, the Heidelberg defense, come through with yet another big turnover. All right, here we go. It's going to be Sims to pitches it to Yearby, and he's going to be tripped up behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Wow, quite a tackle there by Miles Aldridge. We haven't seen many guys be able to wrap up Yearby, especially on the first try.
Not at all, and there was a little pushing and shoving there after the play. So it's going to be third down and long for Heidelberg, as they can. Oh, they almost got Ohio Northern to jump on that one.
Tried to give them a taste of their own medicine.
Ohio Northerns, they've tried that trick a couple times tonight, and it hasn't worked out too well. So here you go. Heidelberg's got it spread out. Sims looking to pass all the way. He's got a man open. Oh, boy, just unable to connect. Brandon Reed, the intended receiver, and the defender just got his fingertips on it, knocked it away, incomplete, and that'll bring up fourth and long for Heidelberg, and they're going to be forced to punt it away.
You know, I haven't seen the Heidelberg pass offense struggle like this in quite a long time. It's been a very impressive performance by Ohio Northern. You see there, the defender just undercuts it, and it's a tight window as is, but normally by now we're seeing at least over 100 yards of passing by Sims.
Yes.
And Sims, you know, he is one of the top passers in the conference. So this is kind of an unusual thing, very efficient. So we'll see if it's just an off night as fair catch around the 15-yard line. Let's see if we can go down to Joey and get his thoughts on this Heidelberg defense, as he's had a front row seat and he's been able to look at this defense all night long and the havoc that they've created for the Polar Bears. Joey, down to you. Tell us about this defense.
Hey, this defense has been stout and sturdy all night, only allowing 3 points and really not allowing any momentum for this ONU offense. So let's see this defense keep it up. Let's see if we can get another turnover up here. Back to you guys. Thank you.
A first-hand account of all the trouble this Heidelberg Student Prince defense has been putting on the Polar Bears all night long. So here we go, Polar Bears deep in their own territory, and whoop, there you go. Oh, man, you called it right there. Number 21, Easton St. Clair, a guy that we've talked about, sacking McConnell before he could do anything with it.
And those corner blitzes, they use them just enough. They don't overdo it, and when they get in there, there's nobody to block them.
Yeah, and the tight end was unable to chip St. Clair, and he had a free run at the quarterback, and he's going to take that sack all night long. All right, 2nd and long for Ohio Northern as the defense has come to play. Brock Martin powers his way up to the right side, moving up close to the original line of scrimmage, as it's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Polar Bears.
It's 3rd down.
So Brock Martin, he's gotten the lion's share of the carries for Ohio Northern, and he remains on the field here, but he just hasn't been able to put up any big plays. And right now, Ohio Northern, they need a big play. In fact, they need at least 10 yards to get anything going. So we might want to keep an eye on Jordan Dean, that's dangerous sophomore wide receiver who has hit one big play already tonight. But you never know. Here we go. And whoop, forget about it. Forget about it. Gavin Reinecke, or take it back, Blackiston, as he just swallows McConnell whole. And just like that, no chance, 4th down, and Polar Bears are forced to kick it away again. And look at this replay, guys. Blackiston just one-on-one, mano-a-mano, beats Brock Martin and takes the quarterback down with him.
Yeah, by the time the running back realized who was coming through, he was already at the quarterback.
Yeah.
So.
Went through 2 guys like it was nothing.
Now watch out for Joseph Norris, who had a big return already once tonight, and tips it. Heidelberg tipped it.
Block.
There you go. The Heidelberg special teams again, and they tipped it, and now they're going to have a phenomenal field position. Look at this. Oh boy, it looks like it might have been Brandon Reed that got through. And how about this special teams unit for Heidelberg?
Yeah, they've made the game-changing plays so far, and you know, if they've been in a tough spot, that 3rd phase of the game has really bailed them out at times.
Absolutely. They've blocked a kick. They've blocked a punt. They're having a pretty good night right now, and that doesn't even count all of the long return yards, all the long returns that they've had either. So, yeah, here you go. Heidelberg offense back at it. As Yearby is going to be tackled right behind the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd and long for the Student Princes.
You know, this is, like we mentioned earlier, 3 drives that ended in scores started inside the 35. We have another one inside the 35, so you'd have to imagine they're going to get it done here.
I don't have the number in front of me, but I'd love to see the field position, starting field position for each of these teams. I think it'd be really interesting because we've seen Heidelberg pick up some favorable field position or start with it quite a bit tonight. So here we go, second and long for the Student Princes. It's going to be Yearby right up the middle, dances his way forward, now powering his way forward as he pushes 3 defenders down to the 25-yard line. And that's going to bring up third and manageable for Heidelberg.
And, he has such a knack for patience when running the ball. He can obviously hit the hole really fast. We've seen that, but selecting which one, the path of least resistance, and figuring out how he's going to get the most yards out of it.
So it's going to be 3rd and 5 from the 25 for the Heidelberg Student Princes here. 10:32 remaining in tonight's football game. They've got a 20-point lead so far. Sims looks to sling it, and he connects with Brandon Reed on the gain, and that should be just enough for a first down. Excellent job by Reed at positioning himself in the perfect place.
And that's the way to get the passing game going. You have a short little curl route in the middle of the field, move the chains, and keep the offense on the field.
Yearby right up the middle, and wow, he's just bulldozing his way up to the 5-yard line. Oof, another first down.
Might have even seen a hurdle in there.
He's doing everything, guys. Yeah. You talk about patience, but the brute physicality of Montavious Yearby is just incredible. As you can see him bounce off of those yellow jerseys one after another as he just is imposing his will on Ohio Northern.
Yearby is nearing 200 yards rushing.
Wow, that's incredible. And he's been the go-to guy all night long as he's taken it right up here on the left, drug down right around the 2-yard line. All right, so he's reaching nearly 200 yards. How many carries is he up to now, guys? He's got to be getting up there quite a bit. He had 20 in the first half.
20 in the first half. After that long 68-yarder he had, so not quite 70.
Just short of it.
He was at 26 for 165.
Looks like 32 carries for Yearby now.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible.
And hey, 5.9 a pop. That's way over what we were talking about in pregame. So.
Yeah, pretty good clip.
32
to
for
boot.
197.
All right, they're bringing in the tough guy, TJ Ramey. Direct snap to Ramey as he pushes his way forward. He's looking for that second touchdown of the evening. Heidelberg offensive linemen are like, we got it. But they going to say that he's just short of the goal line.
And am I seeing that right? Is Tyler Turek out there, the D lineman?
This is a power formation we've not seen from Heidelberg.
The power package, and Ramey's taken the direct snap the second time in a row. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, and that may have been enough to slow him down.
It's going to be Trevon Salter for ONU cutting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
You see him come off the left edge over here. Nobody touches him.
Excellent
free shot.
Open field tackle by the ONU defender.
Watch a pass.
All right, Ramey hit behind the line again. Is he able to stretch out enough? Touchdown. TJ Ramey gets his second touchdown of the evening and of the season as the Student Princes now have 29 points.
That package consists of Turk, Blackiston, and all of the Heidelberg offensive linemen and a couple probably backups, and Brandon Reed as well.
Yeah,
field, so.
They had the power package down there on the goal line, and you knew what was coming the whole way as they had all the beef, all that they could pull off the bench there to help Ramey punch it in from 2 yards out. So with the PAT up and good, Heidelberg now has a 30-3 lead over the visiting Ohio Northern Polar Bears. And with 8:11 remaining in tonight's contest, this game might be over, guys.
Oh, yeah. And that run right there shows Ramey's power. He went through 3 different Polar Bears to get into the end zone. We'll see it one more time here.
We're looking at the replay here, and Ramey able to get past 2 defenders there and punch it in from deep. So let's go down to Joey. And Joey, how beautiful did that touchdown look? We were talking they had all the offensive and defensive linemen there to help pave the way for Ramey.
Hey, that's what you want to see out of this Heidelberg offense, especially with the lead like they have built. Run the football, be physical out front, and they physically dominate the line of scrimmage. which is exactly what you want to see. Beautiful play calling by offensive coordinator Jason Lewis. He's as well the offensive line coach, which obviously is a tremendous part of their offense. So big kudos to him and that offensive line right there, because that drive was on their back. So it's getting pretty rough out here for ONU, but big win for Heidelberg coming up here, hopefully. So let's send it back up to you guys in the studio. Thank you.
And there you have it. Thank you, Joey. Kind of a cool view down there from the sideline as he gets to stand right next to the student princes and watch all of that action taking place. So that's quite a view, quite an account. Excellent work as the Polar Bears drug down right around the 33-yard line. And I think football coaches just naturally, they talk about adversity, and they like to talk about how their team, how they fight to the end, and especially fight in the fourth quarter. If you guys were down there on the Polar Bears sideline, would you be hearing the same type of things? What do you say when you're down by this many points?
Well, certainly what you have to focus on is just small victories at a time, and you just got to keep showing fight, and coaches really notice that type of thing.
When you're playing a team like Heidelberg and you have Baldwin Wallace and Mount Union coming up on the schedule in the following 2 weeks as well, you've got a lot to fight for, not just this week, but in the upcoming weeks. So.
Yeah, that's a tough schedule right there.
Yes.
As the Polar Bears power their way forward for a 3-yard gain on the play. So here we go. We may have a few new faces out there. I think Aiden Figueroa in at quarterback now as quarterback keeper. Figueroa, 45, 50. Whoa, look at him go. He's across midfield. He's going to be taken down right around the 37-yard line. Aiden Figueroa, the freshman QB, giving a little extra life to this Ohio Northern offense.
I'm convinced if Norris wasn't able to get an arm out there to slow him down, he might have gotten the edge there.
Wow. Look at Figueroa just turn the corner and run. And you can see the speed that he brings to the team here as he's the future for the Polar Bears, no question. All right, here we go. 7:07 remaining in tonight's game, and it's going to be Brock Martin right up the middle as he's hit by a lot of black jerseys. We'll call it a Heidelberg defensive stop all the way. I think Colin Hubbs might have been the lead tackler on that one. All right, here we go. 2nd and long for Ohio Northern as Figueroa, he's the new quarterback. And Martin, the old running back, is just knocked backwards, literally. Oh, man. Brock Martin taking some punishment on that hit as 2 Heidelberg defenders just put him on his back. And honestly, that's something that we've seen all night long from this Heidelberg defense. They've been able to close the rushing lanes for the Polar Bears quickly.
Timeout, Heidelberg.
So Heidelberg's going to take a timeout down on the field here. And I'd like to check in with one of our sponsors. Today's game also supported by OSST Sport and Pro Tracks Synthetic Track Surfaces. OSST provided the beautiful all-weather surface here at Heidelberg's track at Hernemann Stadium. Heidelberg Athletics is grateful for all that you've been able to do for their athletic teams. All right, 5:56 remaining in tonight's football game, and so far it's been all Heidelberg this half, as Heidelberg has forced an interception. They've recovered a fumble, and the rushing attack has just really hammered away at the Polar Bear defense, imposing their will and leading Heidelberg to a 30-3 lead over their conference foes. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and long for the Polar Bears as, dropped ball. Oh, and Heidelberg may have gotten it. Figueroa unable to hold on to it as he tried to hand it off to Brock Martin, and the end result is another Heidelberg turnover, their second fumble recovery of the evening, and it's just, their fifth turnover of the night as well? Only their fifth turnover, right? Holy cow.
More turnovers than points.
Yep.
You know, that type of thing when you're not used to he's probably not taking the first team reps in practice, and the timing there might have been a little bit off with the starting running back.
And it looks like it might have been Isaiah Kammer who was able to get his paw in there and knock it away for the Heidelberg defense. And another turnover and another opportunity for this Heidelberg offense.
It looks like Jaron Curtis is going to step in at running back now for the Student Princes.
All right, so Sims going to give it to his new running back as Curtis is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and long for Heidelberg.
Well, it looks like we're even seeing some offensive linemen being subbed in and out. So Heidelberg definitely going to work in, rotate in some different guys here.
And Curtis, the senior tailback for Heidelberg, getting a little action here late in the game. And it's going to be Curtis right up the middle, following his blockers close to the original line of scrimmage as they keep on pushing their way forward. And that clock continues to run, now down to 5 minutes remaining in tonight's football game.
Brown with the tackle.
Again, don't forget, here at Heart of Ohio Sports, we've got all sorts of stuff going on throughout the week. We've got the Pulse podcast every Monday at 8. We've got the Coaches Corner live from Benchwarmers every Tuesday. And we've got high school football every Friday night here at Heart of Ohio Sports. So 3rd and 8 for Heidelberg as Sims drops back looking to pass. He's outside the pocket, looking deep. He's got his man. There it is. Number 3, Brandon Reed. He's at the 20. He's at the 15. Gets by one defender, and he's in for a touchdown. Touchdown, Heidelberg. And oh, mama. Hometown faithful love that one right there.
Well, they made us wait till the last 5 minutes, but there's the marquee big pass play that we're so accustomed to from Berg.
So the Heidelberg offense throws it over the top, scores another huge touchdown on Ohio Northern, and we're going to go down to Joey as he's got another courtside view of all the Heidelberg offensive action. Joey, man, how amazing was that one for the Student Princes?
Man, how about Brandon Reed right there, busting that play open. Drew Sims getting out of the pocket due to some pressure, kept his eyes downfield, found Brandon Reed, and the rest is history, man. He busted that play open, turned on the Jets and outran everybody, and I think that might have been the nail in the coffin for ONU right there. Heidelberg's up big, 37-3, I believe, with the good kick. 37-3. Heidelberg's roll 37 unanswered points. Great offense, great defense, great complementary football. The Student Princes are rolling right now. Thanks, guys. Back up to you.
There you have it, Joey, from the field. And with that PAT, Heidelberg now has a 37-3 lead over the Polar Bears, and there's only 4 minutes left. And, I'd like to say there's always an opportunity, there's always a chance, but I think Heidelberg's got this one, guys.
Most definitely. Not enough time for ONU to get back in this one.
Yeah, and they did a great job closing. After a very slow first half, they put up 27 straight here. So, and they've also managed for the 3rd straight game to score a point in every quarter.
And they've gotten a turnover in every quarter, too, tonight. So defense does not want to be shown up by the offense at all. In fact, I think if we brought a defensive player onto the broadcast, they would claim that it's all them tonight, that they single-handedly have won this football game. And with that many interceptions and fumble recoveries, you know what? They deserve it.
And they've applied so much pressure, not just in the passing game, but they've really closed gaps really quickly. And the 3 points that speaks for itself.
Yeah, Trevor McConnell never able to get into any type of rhythm tonight because the defensive line just pressured them so much tonight. So here we go, and Ohio Northern taking it up just across the 30-yard line, and that's where the offense is going to come back out. And you see some excitement there by the Heidelberg special teams ace. I think it's Elijah Hodge, who was able to take him down one-handed. So the official spot there, 32-yard line, and this Heidelberg defense gets another chance to do some more. Now we've got 4 minutes left. Make sure that you stay here for our post-game recap, where we will name our player of the game here at Heart of Ohio Sports. And there's a lot of different people that we can choose from. A lot of superstars. We could take a look at the Heidelberg defense. We could take a look at none other than Parker Smith, and not even talking about the offense, who Montavious Yearby has just had himself one heck of a night too. So a lot of worthy candidates for this Student Prince football team.
It's definitely going to be a tough decision.
Absolutely. So after that short gain for the Polar Bears, it's going to come up 2nd and 8 from the 34-yard line.
Looks like both teams have brought in some subs.
Yep. And Aiden Figueroa still down there as he lets, whoa, boy, a horse collar there. And it's number 26, Donald Crawford, the sophomore running back, who was stretched out a little bit and knocked down for a short gain.
Yeah, it looked like 98 Colin Hubbs. He was being in the middle being blocked, so he did what he could, reaching an arm out.
That was the first carry of the evening for Donald Crawford, so he's new down there on the field, and we've got a few others as well for Ohio Northern, trying to pick up a little experience here and what has turned out to be a lopsided OAC showdown so far tonight. 37-3, Student Prince's commanding lead, and whistle down on the field as well as a flag. So,
Offense, 5-yard penalty. They're down.
And that's another penalty for Ohio Northern, as it's going to push them back, and that's their 4th penalty of the night.
And, you know, if it hasn't been a turnover or maybe a missed block, it's been penalties that have really set this game apart. Like we'd said, it was 10-3 at halftime, and, you know, if you took a break from watching and came back to this, you wouldn't understand it.
Not at all. Looking to pass all the way. Got a man right down the middle, and it's going to be number 6, Hunter Kessler, who catches it and is drugged down right around the 31-yard line, 32-yard line perhaps. Huge gain for Ohio Northern.
And, you know, they were able to expose the, looks like right down the seam there.
Figueroa to Kessler right down the middle through the heart of this Heidelberg defense. Huge gain. Polar Bears 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Looking to score some points before the end of tonight. Figueroa right up the middle. Quarterback keeper, and that'll bring up second. And we'll say medium for the Polar Bears.
With the tackle.
2nd and 6 for Ohio Northern, as we're now down to the 1:30 marker for tonight. Again, we've got our post-game show coming up here shortly. We're going to take a look at all of tonight's action. We're going to take a look at who the many possibilities could be for that player of the game. So make sure you stay tuned here, Heart of Ohio Sports, with Heidelberg Athletics. Figueroa, again, right up the middle as he makes his way up to the 25-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd and short for Ohio Northern.
And, you know, offensively, if we're talking about the player of the game, I mean, I would almost want to try to give it a stretch and say the offensive line could get it, but at the same time, Yearby with almost 200 yards as an individual performance, that's hard to top.
Right. It's even with that being said, though, I mean, the performance Parker Smith had defensively today, you pretty much have to give it to him.
Off.
That is true.
And as I say that,
buddy.
the Heidelberg defense.
Right on cue, the
another
defensive performance, and then woof, there you have another INT for Heidelberg. Oh, buddy. Everybody's eating on that side of the ball tonight. Oh, and that is number 18, Carson Lehrer, who gets another INT for Heidelberg. Check this out. Figueroa going deep into the end zone and had a Heidelberg defender waiting for it right there.
Lehrer became a receiver on that one.
Check that out. Could not be happier. And I'm not sure, is that a wig?
It's a cape.
It's a
turnover.
cape.
It's a turnover cape.
Man, how have we not seen the turnover cape yet on the broadcast when they've had so many turnovers?
They need to get a turnover. They need to get a sword and like a helmet. They need to get the whole student prints.
Hey, there you go. Wow. I don't know. I think we might need to put in a bid for the Heidelberg defense here as the
Overall
unit of the game, right?
Unit of the game.
We're going to change it up here. I'm going to talk to our producer. Zach, we might need to change the name of this award from player of the game to the unit of the game, as the defense has had one heck of an evening tonight. Yep, I agree. Our producer, Greg Ken, he just suggested that we bring the whole defense over here and we interview them one at a time. I hope Joey's ready for the whole defense down there on the field.
I definitely think Parker Smith being the middle linebacker, punter of this team, representing kind of the captain of the defense, I will nominate Parker Smith as player of the game.
Ooh, I don't know. We'll have meeting of the minds here in a little bit as Sims kneels it down, and you know what that means. Victory formation for Heidelberg here from Horniman Stadium. And with the teams out there on the field and the clock winding down, that's going to bring an end to this OAC matchup from Tiffin, Ohio, as your hometown Heidelberg Student Princes come away with a commanding and convincing victory, 37-3 over the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. All right, we're going to step away for a moment here and collect our thoughts and emotions and consider who could walk away with this player of the game. You've been listening to Heart of Ohio Sports. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Zach Dillon here, and you're watching Heidelberg football on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State.
Hey folks, don't forget to check out the Pulse podcast every Monday night at 8 p.m. right here on Heart of Ohio Sports.
Hey guys, this is Aaron Steyer from the Over Under Pod. You catch us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 8:30. Come join the fun.
Like, follow, and subscribe to Heart of Ohio Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter.
Nate Mullins here. You're watching Heidelberg football on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State.
How are we doing, guys? My name is Joey Krajewski. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out the Over Under podcast every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock and every Sunday morning. Thank you, guys.
Tune in every Monday night at 8 o'clock for the Pulse podcast right here on Heart of Ohio Sports, live from inside Studio Squared in downtown Tiffin.
Be sure to give us a like, follow, and subscribe to Heart of Ohio Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to Horniman Stadium here in Tiffin, Ohio, as the Heidelberg Student Princes have just come away with a commanding 37-3 victory over the visiting Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Now we're going to go down to the field as Joey has our player of the game.
How we doing, guys? I'm here with Parker Smith, and we just went over your stats, bro. 1 sack, 2 picks, 6 tackles, and 41 yards punting average, man. I mean, what more can you do?
I'm just out there doing what I'm told. I got great coaches, on this entire staff. They just put me in the position to make the plays, and I do my best. I do my best to make the plays that they, kind of put me in the positions to make. So.
Yep, I hear. And, after that first drive, you guys kind of got on the defense. You guys got kind of put in tough spot. They had a short field, but you guys only held them to 3, and that was it. I mean, you guys were playing lights out. Was that kind of like the game plan, or did it just kind of fall in place where you guys were able to just control the game?
It always just falls in place kind of like that. We never want to be like in a bad situation like that. But kind of like it's a team motto, we always just want to handle adversity, So sometimes you're going to be thrown in a situation, you got to handle the adversity, and take what you're given and keep playing.
I gotcha. Those 2 picks, what were you thinking as soon as you caught the ball?
Well, I'm not going to lie. The first one I was surprised I caught. But, I caught it, wanted to score, but you can't always score. So I'm just happy we got the ball back for the offense. The second one, I guess I looked like an athlete on it, so I guess I'll take it. But essentially, any opportunity you can to get a turnover and get the ball back to your offense to score points, you'll take it. So.
Yeah, I hear you, and especially that Berg offense is tough to stop, man. They were going crazy tonight in that defense. I mean, you guys were playing phenomenal, lights out defense. You got anything else to say, man? Any special shout outs?
Shout out to all my coaches. They put me in positions to make plays. My family, I know my whole family was here tonight, here watching me, and just basically my teammates. They always got my back and I got theirs. And I love the Berg family. So
awesome, man. Love to hear it. Well, Parker, congrats, man. Hell of a game.
I appreciate
you. Back to you guys up in the studio. I had some sweaty ass hands. I was about to drop your phone like 5 or 6 times. So, hey, man. Hell of a game.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Here, and he really showed out and showed up along with so many other Heidelberg Student Prince players. That was a difficult choice, but it's just an incredible game, all-around effort. He punted the ball. He intercepted the ball. He had all the tackles for loss. I mean, just another phenomenal effort there by the Heidelberg defense. So, guys, let's talk a little bit about how did we get to 37-3. And so far, we talked about halftime. It was a close 10-3 game. And the Polar Bears got the first chance, but in reality, it was all Heidelberg here in the second half as they put up 3 rushing touchdowns and then a late TD catch. And then, of course, they sprinkled in a whole bunch of turnovers to just have a one-sided victory here in Tiffin, Ohio.
I think they really tried to rely on and go with the consistent option in Yearby and lean on that offensive line until Ohio Northern got to the point where they were just gassed. They were tired and probably getting in stalemates, and Yearby, he was just leaving them in the dust.
Definitely. And to add on to that, on the defensive side of the ball, it makes it really easy. It makes it really easy for your offense when you get short field after short field. If you would have told me Yearby had almost 200 yards rushing, I would not have even thought the offense had 200 yards with the amount of short fields that they had today. So.
Absolutely. And, we talk about offense and defense, and we really haven't talked about the special teams much at all. I mean, they had a couple kick blocks, and they had some excellent returns. I mean, it was a well-rounded effort by the Student Princes tonight.
I think that goes to show the amount of experience that makes up this roster. And Smith, obviously, he has a lot of experience in and of himself. And in those tight ball games, it's really the guys with the experience that are going to be able to lead you out of it. And we saw that perfectly tonight.
Absolutely. Parker Smith walks away, our player of the game, 1 sack, 6 tackles, 2 picks, and, 41 yards to boot. Get it? He was punting. All right. They laughed harder off camera. So, all right. Well, I think that about does it for Heart of Ohio Sports here in Tiffin, Ohio. So I'd like to thank our technical director, Zach Dillon, our producer, Greg Kinn. I'd like to thank our phenomenal camera people, Mackenzie Murray, showing you all those amazing shots from the sideline there, but also Gabby Stahlbaum and Connor Sokol, who were able to bring all of all of tonight's game action live streaming to you. Gentlemen, for Trayvon Hastings and Max Drummond, my name is Dominic Helmstetter. Again, thank you for tuning in to Heart of Ohio Sports here at Horniman Stadium and Heidelberg University, 37-3. They remain undefeated.